you outside in the rain?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Probably got a fan pointed on him.
No, nothing.
What do you ask of these Andalari? Watch you.
Alright, go ahead and get the raid started. Cool thing is that if we do decide to do Mythic, there's like no trash for either of them.
In the preserve have been falling into a strange poison. Heh, use this on them.
Strange poison.
Take care. Some are already too far gone and may turn on you. Ride the wind.
Let's get some unknowns going. I feel like that's a little loud. Let's try that. Is the instance already set up for if I get there?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm already here.
yeah.
I'll be
It's
there in
on
just a
it's on
sec.
heroic, so
Out of range.
switching to my rogue now.
Yeah.
Hey, Source, do you know how Affliction is?
Better than Deathstroke?
Really? I'm used to
Yeah,
it being
for the
garbage.
last few X packs, it's been hands down the winner.
Yeah, it was garbage at the start of last X pack, but it got much better.
Are you affliction or destruction?
Deathstroke.
But wait, you said that affliction was better.
It is.
I guess some things I just won't understand.
If you can manage dots on multiple targets, it is absolutely better, but I cannot do that.
Yeah, BM's better than Marksman, and I'm Marksman.
Warlocks are one of my favorite classes. Just Affliction's the only spec I will ever play on them. And Legion, they sucked at first, so I ended up having to swap mains.
It doesn't matter from the Sims because it's only like what 500 DPS overall on almost all specs.
Is it that close?
I don't know about all that.
Of course, you summoned me at exactly the right time, because I ran into Anchor Weed, like, right before you summoned.
Can I get an invite, please?
Who is that?
Widowmaker.
Sorry, I did not see you come on.
Oh, I done been online.
Okay, the roster's fucking stupid. Oh yeah, Zolsolar is here too. He wasn't showing up. Fucking hate the guild roster, man.
Yeah, it's been bugged. My friends list has been bugged too.
Yeah, I think since the start of the X pack.
Oh god damn it. And then of course he goes off. He's switching. Fuck. Okay, he did.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Pretty intense, royalty-free music.
Thank you, Source.
Oh, Solo, this insanity thing does totally work in here.
Are you sure? I thought I read somewhere on Wowhead that it
Unless they just... I don't know, the buff is on me and my strength has increased by 24, so I'm assuming
that's
yes.
what's up. For sure.
Yeah,
Who
they
is
didn't
that?
break all of them. They just broke the most recent one, I'm pretty sure.
Who's that person that sounds like a horse dastard?
I don't know.
Not
Yeah,
sure.
that sounded like them.
I sound like Dastard.
Yeah, you sound like Dastard if you, like, spent all day before yelling at a concert.
Oh, that kind of horse.
That's mean. Oh my god.
Well, no, like the tonage is similar, but he's got a more raspy tone to his voice. Maybe I'm just retarded too. That could be it.
You sound like you've spent a lot of time analyzing this. I respect that.
Really?
I literally just had the last like 3 seconds to think of it. Mommy called me special a lot.
He never learns.
Is X Pride in here?
Yep.
Somewhere.
Where you at?
Hey, folks.
Man of the hour.
Roger, did you talk to Wave at all? I assume the same thing from yesterday?
No, I haven't talked to him. I got on at like 10 till 9 tonight. So.
Okay, I assume he's still just swamped.
Yeah, he wasn't online when I got on.
That's fair.
I happened to be on early last night, so I think he caught me.
Well, just give me a moment. I'm gonna go use the restroom, and I'll make sure we're all set.
Huh? Whose footprints are these?
Many deals for a friend of the grumble. Like you. Many farewell.
Alright, back. Do ready check and I'll start explaining things. Pass me lead, please.
Isn't Mithrax kind of more or less more of the same?
Yep. But there are two major pieces of differences, and there's a number of things we've been very sloppy at that I need to clarify about the way people have been handling some moves that don't really impact Heroic too much, but we will notice immensely on here on Heroic. Let me do a quick ready check, make sure we're here, and then I'll mention those details. We have, what, 6 heals? That's fine. The only DPS race is at the very end.
I'm here, I just reloaded my UI.
Alright. Just check ready if everyone else is here so I can call out what I need to. Okay, everybody's check ready except for Gemma. I'll go ahead. Oh, everyone's here. Alright, cool. So here are the two major changes that hopefully everyone's already aware of. One, when you're being mind controlled, every couple seconds you're going to get a stack of the debuff, and you're going to, I can't remember if you spawn the orbs or not. Hopefully you do. So the longer it takes to free people, the more stacks they're going to get, with the more complicated this gets. Still, despite all of that, hunters should be the only people freeing people, because if you are trying to help people, the damage from releasing people is higher, and releasing 3 people at the same time could just wipe us instantly. The damage is not a joke. So it's imperative that you do not accidentally cleave people in those. That means 2 things. One, you have to be very careful not to be flush up against the edge of the room, because if you're flush up against the edge of the room, that means you're not going to be it will be freed from some angles, and you'll just gain a bunch of stacks. And 2, it's imperative more so than ever to take the extra time to spread out. Getting mind controlled with one other person may occasionally happen because you could be in motion and that'll happen. Anything more than 2 people is not fair, and if it's a point where we've just been sitting still for a long while, it's not fair for you to get, for 2 people to get hit either. So 2 will occasionally happen. 3 is never acceptable. The other detail, the more important one, is once we get the boss to 20%, that's in the last phase 1, he gives Essence Shear to everybody, which means that no one can generate orbs anymore. I believe orbs that are already up are still up, but no one generates them anymore for the rest of the fight, meaning tanks will have a limited lifespan before they eventually die, and everyone has to dodge stuff at their utmost best, because getting hit by shit and getting 12 stacks, you can't recover from that. So that's the point where we normally lost when you hit 20% to make sure that portion goes as fast as possible, and you ensure a kill before everybody gets, or basically before tanks are unhealable at that point. The tanks will also get hit much harder by the Essence Shear, so they need to always have a cooldown up for every single one. It's no joke. Otherwise, everything else is fundamentally the same. We used to always use Lust during the second transition phase, which we can no longer do. So what that means is it's more important than ever that every single time ads spawn, and I think it happens 2 times, maybe 3 times total during the transition, that we're stacked up on the circle. We used to just kind of spread out in a clump around the circle. We can't do that anymore. We have to stack up. Because the ads spawn a short distance away from your spawning, just being a couple yards away, if 2 people are a couple yards away from the circle in opposite directions, then they could spawn ads opposite them, and that would just mean ads are far enough away they can't all be cleaved down. So we've always had an issue where we've had to mop up a number of ads after the fact, and what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start screenshotting whenever I see ads out of position, because they look exactly like the person who's out of position, so I can just see exactly who's screwed up each time.
Oops.
Just release and come back. So it's imperative, you don't have to be at this circle at all times. Obviously you're going to be dodging the beam. Obviously there's a timer you can see when he's going to cast the ads, so you can change your positioning based upon that. If you're the kind of person who tunnels on your DPS or tunnels on your heals or whatever the case may be, don't take the risk, stay at circle, dodge the beam, and as soon as the beam's done, immediately move back to circle each time. If you are the person who can pay attention to the meters at the same time, you can move away from the circle when the beam happens, stay away from there, and continue DPSing, healing, whatever you have to do, and right before the ads spawn, make sure you're back at the circle. I'm fine with either, but do whatever you're comfortable with, but you have to make sure you're at the circle for when the ads spawn. That's the gist of it. Probably the biggest offense here is that when I say everybody head to the circle, make sure you spread out, but still you head over to the circle, I commonly see about 5 or 6 people on the opposite side of the room from the circle. So they either just don't know where they are in relationship to the circle is, they have no idea where the circle is, and they just are blindly running around trying to find where to go, or they just flat out think they know better than me, one or the other. But it's imperative that you run to the correct side. I'm going to be calling out the people running to the opposite side. It's always in the same spot, guys. X is always in the north, and circle's always in the east of that room, so there shouldn't be a problem. And right when the transition is happening, just look around the room and head to the circle. It should be V to the X. What?
Wordplay.
Oh. Anyway, so yeah. The last thing that we've screwed up on a little bit here that people need to get very correct here now is the Ruin. Ruin's the debuff that's applied to 2 people that causes you to run away from the group and blow up. There are 2 notes about that hopefully people have realized, but I'm going to doubt based upon the gameplay I've seen the last couple of weeks. 1, the damage falls off at 45 yards. That's the maximum reduction in damage you can do to the raid. Remember, there are always range and healers in the center of the room, which means you can't just run a little bit away from the melee if you're a melee and just say this is good enough. That still hits the people in the center for quite a bit of damage, and if it overlaps with us freeing people, that's a lot of extra damage. So you should, at all times, if you get the Ruin, be a range, healer, tank, or range healer, melee, whatever the case may be, you need to run to the opposite side of the room and basically form a triangle with the boss. So one of you should go to the left side and run back, one of you should go to the right side and run back. I can't put markers down because we're going to rotate the boss around, so it's always relative to however the boss is moved. But you should make sure you run one in different directions, and two far enough back to minimize your damage to the rest of the raid. As soon as it goes off, you need to pick up orbs and continue. Note, in the worst case scenario, if you're ever within 12 yards of anybody, anyone within those 12 yards will also gain a stack of the debuff, which is something we should hopefully just be completely avoiding. If you're ever that close, you're wildly out of position. I know a number of people tried to get the last bit of damage in there and then run off at the last moment, but I have to stress that phase 1, when we're fighting the boss, is not a DPS race in any way, shape, or form. It's not difficult to make the checks there, only in the last 20% of the fight, and most of the crunching is going to be done during the transition phases. As such, people who have been kind of lazy and running out at the last second from the boss, you should give yourself a little bit more time to adjust based upon where other people are. If you're just blinking straight to the back of the room and expecting everything to be safe, odds are you're going to do extra damage or extra stacks and all that stuff. So you can wait a couple seconds before running off. There's plenty of time, but don't give yourself 2 seconds to do this move correctly, because I guarantee none of you are good enough to do that. Are there any questions? Anything that needs clarifying? And that's not a knock on you guys. Like, that's not enough reasonable time to make the correct set of decisions 100% of the time. It may work 50% of the time, it may work 80% of the time, but some percentage of the time you're going to do the wrong thing if you only give yourself that time. And we can't afford to have something that's not working 100% of the time.
I need to respec, so if I get a summon, please.
We'll toss you some, just let us know when you're good to go. Alright, so otherwise this fight is functionally the same. You've seen all the moves here, nothing should really surprise you. It's just doing what we do here, but better than we normally do it.
Alright, I'm ready.
It's range 5, but it should do it automatically for you.
Range 12 is the distance that you need to, when you get the debuff on you to run away, you need to be away from other people.
Is it range 5 even in heroic?
Yeah.
I have a cauldron.
It's
Depends
range.
on when Dastard wants it.
Just to be, let's give it a go here before we do the cauldron. Just to be clear, range 5 is the distance you need to be apart from one another to not get stuck in each other's purple orbs for the mind control. Range 12 is the distance to not give people extra stacks from ruin, and range 45 is the distance to minimize your damage to the rest of the raid. Both of the latter two are both for ruin, so you should try to get as far away from as many people as possible. 12 is the absolute minimum you need to move, but that's going to probably kill a bunch of people. Alright, here we go, guys. We're going to go ahead and get this started. First go here, I'm going to take some time to put the marks down, so don't...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Alright, ruins are coming up.
Wow.
What happened? I can't put marks down while mind controlled, so...
I'm MC'd behind it.
It doesn't seem to give stacks while you're sitting in it, so it must be mythic only then. Oh, that's good to know.
Beware.
A bunch of people are stacked up.
That actually pulled me in. There's apparently a pull on it. Yeah, there's some sort of pull on it on heroic.
What, the obliteration blast?
No, the fucking orb.
I mean, that's pulling. When it spawns?
Yeah.
See anybody else getting pulled in, so that seems very odd.
I think it's you have to be pretty close to it, like it's right on the edge of it. Or maybe I was in it and it just pulled me into the center of it.
That might be, yeah, that's what happens. If you're in the radius, it pulls you to the very center of the circle.
Okay, that might have been what it was then.
You won't get pulled in unless you, I mean, if you're hit by it, you're hit by it. It's not going to make you hit by it if you're not, but it will just make it so that you have a equal difficulty getting out of it. Just keep going. I know we have a lot of people dead, but I want to see how much damage is in phase 2. Take a survey of where the circle is, guys. We're going to be getting into 66% soon, so that's where you have to make a beeline for. Remember, you cannot... make sure you are spread out.
Give me a second, Pete. I think I move.
Yeah, no problem. Remember, while he's casting the beam, he can't actually do his orb, so do not feel like you have to... You can't pass through people at the same time. Alright, head towards the circle, guys. Head towards the circle. Make sure you pick up a bunch of orbs as soon as the transition happens. But I'll get the first interrupt, Dwarf, so I can get 2 of them.
Oh, you guys were stacked up in circle. You can't stack up until after he puts down the orb, guys.
Move them. Dwarf died. I assume whoever healer was watching Dwarf did not move over to the circle side to watch.
Nah, I lagged out.
That would do it.
Good, wipe it. So yeah, functionally nothing. The only thing that looks different is the numbers and the 20% thing. Everything else looks exactly the same. Staying in the orbs for a while doesn't actually give you stacking debuffs, so that looks like out-of-date information that either was moved to Mythic only or was just removed from the fight entirely. Which is fine by me. Trying to rush people free is completely counter to trying to free people correctly.
Yeah, so when Dastard says to head towards circle, don't stack up until after the orbs get put down.
Yeah, you just need to make sure that the idea of heading towards the circle is that after he... Here's the order of events. When phase 2 happens, he runs to the center. He starts channeling something. While he channels that thing, I believe he finishes the cast, it does an AoE that hits the group, he spawns 2 more orbs, and then a few seconds later, I don't remember the exact amount, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds, probably less than that, he spawns his first round of ads, the little ads, from the copies from us. So what's important is that by the time he spawns those little ads, you're on circle, but you have a window of about somewhere between 3 and 10 seconds, I don't know the exact amount, to be spread out, to not get trapped by the orb, and then stack up on the circle. It sucks, but it's what you have to do. So technically, if you're very, very fast, you can be on the opposite side of the room if you are capable of collecting your orbs and then getting over to the circle before those ads are cast. That's fine, but, I mean, there's no reason to. While you're heading over, you can continue to nuke the boss. He does take full damage until he finishes that cast, so don't just ignore him, but the priority is to make sure you're at circle first. So get towards circle, nuke him, and then stack up again, and we should be good. Let me just double check one thing here, and then...
Hey, what up, Zaz?
Go ahead and drop a cauldron. We'll get that started.
Pull people.
I know for a fact that I'm not the only person that is excited about Blackout.
I can get another person in 1 minute.
Here, everybody just jump down here. I'll put it down here.
So the tooltip for Oblivion Sphere seems completely wrong. While charmed, the sphere applies annihilation every 2 seconds.
There are many people
I was in it for a
Blackout.
while. I didn't see myself getting any stacks like that.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, that seems entirely wrong.
Going down.
Although I do see annihilation
if you guys don't want to
It's
play
up.
with me, then
Get
it is
your
what it is, I guess. But I
it's
foresee
very
that being
little.
something
There's only, like,
really good for the
1300
channel.
damage.
So
Annihilation
judging by
ticks for
the fact
very
that
small damage. It's
whenever
like
I stream Fortnite, I
1500
get
damage
the
every 3
best,
seconds.
stream results possible. Or
It's the health
that I've
reduction
had in
that's scary.
months.
And, you know, when you get to 30 stacks and you're taking 30k every 3
everything
seconds.
else just kind of
which is,
sucks. So
pain in the ass. But if you
I'm
have like
pretty
10
sure
stacks, it's still
Blackout's
10k
gonna
every
be
3
really
seconds.
good for the
It's
channel.
annoying, but
And it
like
looks like a lot of
it's
fun for
trivial
me.
Damage.
I don't know. I think if a couple of you guys
Make sure you pop down and
kind
get
of changed
flash,
your
guys.
perception on it and
We
didn't
drop it down
just
here. So we did.
Yeah, well, because it was
feel
going to take too
super
long to
negative
pull
about
everybody
it,
back
you guys
up.
might be able to actually have a lot of fun
Let's
with it.
grab a couple of those extra ones. We'll trade those round as necessary. I still have my
It is
flask
what
from
it
last
is.
night, so.
I got an extra one for anybody that'll need it.
Dun, 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 dun,
Force, can you not get it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay, cool. I just saw
already
you over
caught
there. I was
one.
like,
I
shit.
can grab another one if you want.
Oh, you
Alright.
can if you want. I think the officer's already grabbed an extra, so anybody
didn't
can
'cause
grab
I-
extras now.
I didn't because I'm still holding on to one, but yeah. Alright,
Okay.
here we go, guys. Again, not a DPS race. We just need to be clean. We need to have everybody alive. It's basically one
How
transition
so?
and hopefully through the second. So take the time to spread out. First thing is a sphere in 5 seconds, so spread
I
out
have tried
immediately.
many things
Try not to get too
with an
close to
open
the
mind
circle.
and change my
You can
perspective.
afford it.
In no way would I consider myself to be a closed-minded individual. I mean, hell, I'm excited for a
Watch
Call
those
of Duty
guys.
game.
If you get hit by anything, just pick up the spheres you generate unless otherwise said. So,
It's on me, Bianda.
spheres again in 10 seconds. Just make sure you're spread out. Come on. Some of you guys are running right through those. Make sure you guys run off with those ruins. Looks like it gives you 20 stacks on this difficulty? Or unless you already
Yeah,
had some.
it tosses on a lot more stacks.
Okay, so it's a little tougher to completely wipe them. So you're gonna have to spend some of your time picking up other people's stacks.
I still normally only have to pick up 2 or 3 to clear.
That's all you need to. 2 is enough unless you get hit by something extra. And you have time to fix it every time we get to the transition. You can wipe your stacks with all the extra ones that spawn. Dodge that shit, guys. We got 10% before the transition, just nice and steady here.
3, 2, 1.
Probably gonna want to run that farther bloom. Actually, maybe that might be fine. Yeah, that's good over there. Just make sure you get away from the circle before the orbs. Alright, we got about 4% here, guys.
I got trapped in the orb.
Get away from those blasts. Most of these have been on range, which is good. Alright, here's a transition, guys. Start heading towards the circle, but you don't have don't stack up yet. Don't stack up for at least 5 seconds.
If you're referring to like Borderlands, I actually
Alright, now you
enjoyed
can stack up.
Borderlands
Get the
to a
circle,
certain
get the
degree,
circle.
but it was like, it wasn't a game that I finished and was like, man, I can't wait to play more of this. It was a game that I finished and was like, okay, cool, now I can play something else.
Oh, I see you. I'll get you.
I just wasn't really craving more
I'll
because
get the
I
next
felt like I had
interrupt.
already experienced everything that the game had to offer, and you know what it had to offer just wasn't enough to make me want more of it.
Alright, get ready. You'll be dragging this over soon. Alright, there. The first. Is that the first round of ads?
Yes.
Oh wow, it actually is quite a bit of time before they spawn. Alright, drag this over. Drag it over as quickly as you can. Alright. Get ready to stack up and forth. Stack up by circle, guys. Stack up by circle. Make sure we're interrupting this. Interrupt these ads as much as possible. Alright, cool. A couple people are standing a little bit further back. Gotta get closer. Focus on the big guy. Big guy's priority while throwing interrupts on the little ones. But the ads are pretty well stacked up. Alright, take these ads out. Watch the beam. There'll be one more round of ads spawning. Stack by circle to those running away. Get the circle. Alright, tanks, you can go ahead and pick them up. Alright, not a bad transition. Most of the ads are stacked up. Spread out, guys. Spread out quick. Thankfully, targeted people are further away. Finish these off. Melee, help us finish these quickly, and then you can go ahead back. Watch the blast. Alright. Good, not bad. We can probably spare battle res on a DPS. I don't know what the meters are like, so probably pick up Ghost just for the sake of having less melee. Melee is always scary in this one.
Oh, we need 30 seconds.
Well, the only other game that I can think of would be Dead by Daylight.
Just make sure you guys are spread out and try to stay
It
clear
was
of
a game
circle
that
where we don't
didn't
want
really
any
look
extra things
interesting
over
to
by
me
the
before
circle.
we started. And when we started playing it, it didn't really do anything to particularly wow me.
Dwarf,
so
take time to
that
pick up
did
extra
not
orbs
feel
you
like
see
it
around the
played
room
well,
when you're
so-
not tanking, because you're at 30-something stacks. That's unpleasant.
How the hell did you get that many stacks, bro?
You didn't clear them all going back into the phase, so... I believe the orbs despawn during the phase transition now. I forgot to mention that.
Gotcha.
So you have a limited time to pick them up. But we look pretty good. Just nice to see.
Crap. Soul stoning.
Cool. Yeah, you gotta have a cooldown for each one of those, especially once you have some existing stacks.
Yeah, it was like a second from being up.
It's all good. It's all good. Just call out if you need a healer cooldown for it, because we're not using them for literally anything else.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, Dwarf has way too many stacks. Dwarf needs to cleanse them, so Baha Yumi should get hit by this next beam. Everyone else should avoid it. Well, that's a little tougher to get hit by. If any orbs spawn from that, let Dwarf pick
There's
them up.
some behind me.
Yeah, Dwarf, you're gonna have to do a lap
Like
trying to
over
pick that
here.
shit up.
Want me to do a double
Coming.
round?
No, if you do a double round, you won't generate orbs. It's a waste.
3, 2, 1.
We just need Dwarf to cleanse his. Alright, we're getting transition, so head towards the circle, guys. Head towards the circle. Dwarf, you're just gonna have to pick up my orbs. Pick up the ones here by these things if you can, Dwarf, and then up. I don't know why people ran over to this side, because I just saw them drop. Pick these orbs up, Dwarf, before you run over.
Source is probably gonna need to be gripped out.
Ah, shit.
Actually, so is Eurowave. I can't get either of them. They're up
What,
against the wall.
what healer was supposed to be over here watching Dwarf? Because we didn't have one. So the two of us both died, which means it's gonna wipe now. Where was our healer? Who is our healer?
We don't have that assigned.
Alright, well, we need one healer at all times on Dwarf, because Dwarf's on the opposite side of the room.
It's usually been me, Rivarian. I've been doing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was usually Paladin.
Yeah, so we need one healer to watch. Eventually, he's close enough that you guys can kind of both watch, but he needs one healer. If there's one healer, by the way, with a really good interrupt, they should. What's a shaman interrupts 12 seconds on as a resto? Or is it higher?
No, it's 12 seconds.
It's 12 seconds? Then ideally what we should have, instead of me being over there helping with interrupts, we should have we should have a resto shaman over there designed to get the first and the third interrupt on the big ad, while Dwarf gets the second one. And by the time the fourth interrupt comes around, you should have you should be able to drag it over and everyone should be able to switch. Yeah, Roger, that's fine. So can we have one of the summons just assigned to that? Dwarf, do make sure you don't get the first one. I think on that last one you got that one of the, I can't remember if it was the first ad, you tanked to the second one. You threw an interrupt at the same time as mine, and I didn't have an interrupt for the next one, so one cast went off. But
Can we get a stone, please?
because we shamans have a 12-second interrupt, we can guaranteed get the first and the third one if we delay them as long as possible. But the second one, yeah, you have to get.
Alright, gotcha.
Oh, I mean, I feel like Skyrim's a weird example because, like, I love Oblivion. Just Skyrim does
Otherwise,
a lot of
that
design
wasn't
decisions
that
that
bad.
for me, personally,
That was
I
most
don't
of the
find
way
to be
there.
that interesting,
But
and
that
it doesn't
second
retain my
transition,
interest
yeah,
very
we had
much.
lost a
Like,
couple
I can
people,
play it
but I
for a
mean, we
couple
just have
hours,
to
and
get
I
through
just-
that
yeah, I
second
get
transition
bored.
cleanly, and
GTA
then you
just
get to
for me is not
20%
a
loss,
fun game.
blow potions, and kill the boss. Like, this might actually
Overwatch,
not
like,
be that
I
bad.
enjoy. I just like now that I've played Rainbow
Also,
Six
a
Siege,
reminder
like,
not
I
to try to
really,
free
really like
people
a lot
from
of things that game does. That
There wasn't
Overwatch
much of
does
it,
very
just a
differently,
couple
and
of
I don't
times,
enjoy
so
as
just
much
don't
now.
touch them.
But like, I'll still play Overwatch. Like, if you guys want to play some,
That's what I
Overwatch, I'll play
assumed.
some
Just wanted to
Overwatch.
remind.
Just there's a lot of
If it happens
like
occasionally, it's not the end of the world, but it's when it's directly
ways that
opposed
game
to
is
somebody throwing them,
designed
it wastes two
that
people's
just
time,
kind of
so. Or three.
I don't really find running back to my corpse every few seconds after getting instant killed by somebody's like one-shot kill beam. I don't really find that to be super fun, but like when the game's really close, like I do
Play it
get
safe.
into
Remember,
it.
the fewer stacks you generate, the better for the entire fight. Really, it's just like Vectis, where the better you play at the beginning, the easier it is for you to stay alive towards the end.
5, 4, 3.
So yeah, I guess Overwatch is just more of a like short burst thing for me.
Make sure as you jump down, you don't immediately punch the boss. You wait like half a second, otherwise you'll just get instant killed. And we'll... Oh, two people are dead. Wipe it. This is just a waste.
Yeah, you guys were punching the shit out of that well before I was down even on the ground.
then you jumped late if that was the case.
I mean, I
Or
got
lighting.
healing aggro.
But you should not be slow falling or any of that crap if that's what you're trying to do. Just drop
was
to
not.
the ground. Then I don't know how both the healer and a DPS got down before.
He double jumped and
Magic.
used his wings.
I did not use my wings.
It lies.
Lies.
Any wings.
Thanks. You can feel free to drop off a second earlier as the timer. Like people, I mean, pre-pots aren't critical here, and if they don't
Let's
go off,
Nietzsche open trade with me.
if they don't go off, it's not the end of the world. The critical thing is the potions during the last 20%, but pre-pots
Can I
honestly
get crypt
save
up? I totally forgot
a very
this.
minor amount of time.
Yeah, when we first drop down, guys, none of the healers need to pop their cooldowns. I'm popping mine. My 12-minute one.
Alright, cool. I just always do mine because it's like 2 minutes and it's gonna be up, so I'll stop doing that.
There's,
Yeah,
there's
we'll
hardly
definitely
any
need
healing
yours.
that's necessary when we drop down.
First time people are released from the orbs, there's going to be raid-wide damage, so there's, there's plenty of time to stagger cooldowns.
Well,
So the reason
I
why
don't
I
know.
used mine at the very beginning, and we're all taking
I didn't
damage
play the
because then I
beta,
could
and
get
I'm
that,
sure you guys did.
healing
So
twice
I don't know what your
in the
guys'
fight, and we
feelings
really
were
needed
on
it
it.
towards the end.
It's always just
All that I know is that
like,
from
it's
watching the beta, like I just wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to play it.
Keep in
Like,
mind for
I
you
cannot
healers
wait
with
to get home
cooldowns,
from work
some of
tomorrow
them may be
and
beneficial
play
to
the
use
shit
while
out of
we're
it because
stacked
it
up during
looks
the
so
transition.
much fun to
So
me.
things like totems and
Like
whatever the
just
hell
the idea of battle royale, so
discipline
cool.
bubbles
But
called the
games like
counter
Fortnite
barrier.
don't have the
It may be
execution
beneficial to
make
drop
me
that on
really
circle
satisfied
for
with
the
it.
people who are
So this
visually
is like the
impaired
first
and get hit by
game
the beam,
battle
or
royale
are
wise that
handling
has
something
really gotten me
particularly
excited.
tricky and are getting hit by the beam. You want me to be nice.
So with the 2 minute trank, if I do it first and then I have it up again
On the
at
flip side, I'll probably still play like normal multiplayer
when we
and
stack
stuff
up
with
for
you guys
circle,
too.
it's
Like
up
I enjoy
again.
that
So
feedback loop of
do you want me to not do
get
it
some kills
and
with
then
the gun,
just
unlock
save it?
attachments, get the
I don't know.
skins. Like it's
I
a
don't
fun little
generally
feedback
manage
loop,
the
and I'm
games.
sure I'll have a good
Whatever
time
you
doing
healers
that with you
feels
guys
the
too.
best.
I just feel like it's wasted there because it's
Everyone
really
blow
important that Novik
cooldowns
gets
to get your
double
numbers up.
salvation.
I just use it because it's gonna be wasted anyway.
What do you think
it's
about
fine.
the upcoming
we'll
Battlefield
just, I'll just
Orbs
do
come
it.
out
battle
like
royale
literally
that they're
10
doing?
seconds later.
Are you interested in that at all?
Because if your healing's low, we're gonna kick you out.
Alright.
Good thing I'm keeping my heal numbers high.
You got that right, Bed. That's
I mean,
good.
yeah,
Thank you.
this is a fight that doesn't have a consistent amount of steady damage like, say, Vectis or something, where it makes sense to have a bunch of healing cooldowns lined up. This is much more reactive, where if we're doing our job correctly, only if a few people are taking damage at a time, with the exception of this dropping down. So it makes sense to use one cooldown at the start, and otherwise, it's more of a just like
More
bank it
bops.
and wait for something terrible, like 10 people being too slow to leave a beam, or freeing 4 people at the same time for an orb, and everyone's critically low or something like that. So,
Well, and I think like if we all go
if Novik's
into
using
it
his
with the
after we drop,
expectation of just,
then just save
dropping
them
in,
for
having
a moment where
fun, and
universally
like not
people are
taking
low.
it too
Otherwise,
seriously,
there's just
I
not a
think we're
reason
gonna
to.
have a good time
Like,
with it.
it's
Like,
them
there's
actually
no
helping
way
me
that you, me, Carson, and Tony
Towards the
can
very
all
end of the
drop
fight,
in
the
there
last
and not
20%,
go
we're all
full
getting
fucking
stacking
retard
buffs.
on quads
Maybe it
and
might
have
make
an
sense,
amazing
but
time.
I don't think so.
And if we get our
Here we go.
hands on one of those fucking like heavy armored
I'm gonna
trucks,
put a
like
marker
we're
in the
gonna
back
go
of the
full
room,
hard,
Dwarf,
and it's gonna be
where
amazing.
you should stand. You've been standing
there we
fine, but like maybe 1 out of every like 10 goes, you get a little close, and the debuff. Oh wow, my markers. Oh no, these are right. Spread out, guys. Oh fuck, sorry, I walked back into it, putting a marker down. Knock me out, please. Cool. Yeah, I can confirm sitting in the orb doesn't give you stacks, so don't feel pressured to free people super fast. No, it's in the tooltip for normal heroic, they just removed it and never updated the tooltips. Oh, that just went right through people. Sorry about that, brother.
Okay.
Both of you ruined targets are close. Make sure you're getting distance. Remember, 40 yards away from people is the goal. Oh, one right view ghost.
2, 1.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, you. Rebed quickly, please. Should holler a little bit harder, tanks. You went, but I don't know if the freers knew that you were a critical target that needed to be freed immediately. Try to wipe your stacks, guys. Wipe your stacks. We have 3 people dead going to this first transition. I'm gonna need explanations why those people are all dead after this attempt, but there's no reason for anyone to have died.
Well, 2 of them is pretty easy.
Make sure Shaman,
stacked.
Shaman who's watching the tank, make sure you're over here, over by the dwarf's target, and you get the first interrupt on it. Make sure you wait as long as possible before interrupting. Do not interrupt it right away. Alright, dwarf will get the second interrupt, and then you have to get the third. After this beam, stack up on the circle. Don't try not to walk into the thing. Perfect. Alright, those ads are unfortunately right in that fucking circle. Oh, bring the ad over, bring it over. Next ads are in 10 seconds. Get ready to stack up right after this next beam. Alright, stack up. Stack up at the circle, on the circle. Focus on the big guy, and if you can bring him over to these little ads, that'd be great. I think a bunch of us just got cleaved. Yeah. We have to be very careful when moving him that we don't cleave the entire raid, but we're fucked. Just wipe it. None of us are going to generate stacks, and we're all going to be unhealable. Plus, we already had 4 people dead.
So I died to Imminent Ruin, Crashing Oblivion, and Annihilation.
Yeah, maybe.
I was just thinking about that train wreck as soon as you said,
Could
yeah,
be
why
a
don't you
thing
move
that I
that
end up
ad
solo
over?
queuing with, or...
Yeah, I agree,
I don't know,
Raja. But
either
there's
way,
some people,
I'm
some
looking
repeated
forward to it.
offenders
And if I
getting hit
don't
by
like
that
it,
beam,
cool.
guys.
But I
We're
have
gonna.
a good feeling about it.
I hate saying this. We're gonna have to start dropping people if they're gonna get hit constantly. If the occasional hit here or there, fine. But some people are getting hit like 3 times per go by that beam. That's just a waste of everybody's time. So you guys got to get better dodging that. That should be like a 90+% success rate dodging, and then maybe getting hit occasionally when you're dodging something tricky at the same time.
Also, be very careful about running back into the orbs. I mean, occasionally, fine, whatever, but there's some people that I've seen that just aren't paying attention and continually running into them. It AoEs people every time we freeze somebody, so that really fucking hurts us.
Please let us know the people who do. I mean, not right now, but like if people are continuously doing that in a couple goes, that's also an issue.
Yeah. So what
Yeah,
have
I'm
you been
keeping
up to,
an eye on
Gizmo?
it.
One was dropped very
doing
close to
anything
circle.
fun?
Yes. That's there. Some are going to be close. To
That orb was when that was the one that got dropped like right when we went into phase 2, so people were supposed to be near circle.
Yeah, people were. Yeah, that's what I figured. People were stacked near circle and dropped it. Looked like interrupts went fine on the other
Well,
ad,
like,
so that's
so what are you
great.
looking forward
so
to in
we'll
Black
continue
Ops
doing that,
4?
and
Is
I'm
it
not going to
just
be over there
zombies
anymore. I don't want to risk
mode, or
spawning
just
more ads over there.
the same old multiplayer? or
Otherwise, I
what are-
had no
what are
idea
you
it took
looking
so
forward
long
to?
to spawn those fucking ads. It's so much time to get in position, and it's just even shittier for the people who've been dropping them out of spot. All right, here we go.
All right, yo, where we dropping, boys?
4, 3,
Hot.
So this is 99% the same, guys. Everyone just has to actually do it correctly. So this is good. I'm more hopeful about this then. Why is the first one always on me?
Because you do the most complaining.
Oh, you guys give me the stuff to complain about. Alright, no one was hit by that, which is good. Make sure you dodge those beams. No one was hit, good. Another beam, dodge it. Didn't hit anybody. Good. Remember, getting as few stacks as possible is the success.
I'll get this one being done.
Do not rush anything here. Everything you can take plenty of time. And just keep dodging. Good. If you run away with Ruin, guys, I forgot to mention, make sure you use the defensive if you get very far away from the raid. It is a dot, so if you get too far, you may not get heals. I think that was slightly clipped by that. Be careful, Ben. You might need to
Yeah, that was bad. Sorry.
It's alright.
I gotta get an angle on you, Bloom.
Just ask for the someone next to him to knock him out. Yeah, if that happens, just call for a volunteer to do it, rather than you wasting time moving around. Free solo. We're about to hit the transition, so don't bother moving him. Just finish this up. All right, head towards circle, guys. Head towards, not on top of, but towards circle. The first ads aren't up for like 10 seconds. Remember, you can keep hitting him. Keep hitting him. Alright, get to circle, stack on circle. Wait as long as possible to interrupt those guys. The longer you wait, the less chance the tank gets hit by an ability. Alright, stack up, closer, 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 closer. Like right up on this guy's ass. Alright, get ready to bring the other one over. Bring the other one over now. Alright, watch the beam.
Good job, by the way, guys. You killed that before it managed to put stacks on me.
Yeah, no, that went very well because people were in position. Bring it right on top of the ads if you can. Do not stand in front of them. Do not stand in front of them. Once Dwarf gets any stacks, we should. Oh, here comes the next round of ads. We should have stacked up that by that. Yeah. Finish up the destroyer, guys. Finish the destroyer. Finish the big guy. We only have 10 seconds to finish this up, so kill it quick. And finish these ads. Right.
Watch out the beam.
Beam. One last beam.
You can spread out a bit now.
Milky, pick up some things. If you have, a bunch of people need to pick up some stacks. Pick up these orbs if you have a bunch of stacks. Dwarf should pick. Dwarf should have gotten first pick there. But,
spread out.
Yeah, spread back out. Finish these ads, guys. Everyone should finish them. Not just range, melee as well. Just make sure you're spread out.
Really good. I think this could be the kill.
Careful with Widow as he's running away. You gotta get further. Get further, Widow. You're gonna hit people with that if you're within 12. All right.
So I saw that guy out of the corner of my eye with the other one.
Yeah.
Fuck, dropped.
Remember, you don't have to run that far. You could have run over here by the circle, actually. It was fairly clear of people, so.
How did that vision end up all the way over?
The healers.
Gotcha.
Shit. It's fine. Just dodge that. We're fine. We're gonna have a moderate amount of stacks coming out of the second.
I'm gonna get you expert. I was.
It's a shame. We looked pretty good there, and we lost 2 people just coming out of the transition, which kind of sucked. We should have 2 battle reses, so we can probably pick up one of the 2.
Right now, you have 2.
I should double check the numbers.
Brandon, can you get Widow? I had to run out.
Way the fuck out of here.
Drag him a little bit counterclockwise when you get a chance. Just a little bit careful, not leave some room for the tanks to move past, guys. Pick up Zulsalar. Oh, that's not good. This is still completely doable, guys. Just be careful. Don't get hit here. We're almost at the transition, so just keep your stacks low. As long as the tanks are staying low, we're fine here. Just be careful. Alright, we're about to transition, guys. Alright, after this blast, the transition's happening, so don't get hit here. Good. Alright, head towards the circle. Not on it, but towards it. Circle, 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 please. Here come the orbs. All right, on to the big guy, guys. Stack up on the big guy and nuke the shit out of him. Pick up some of the orbs that are around the room. You have to be stacked up in a few seconds.
I'm down.
Yep.
I got knocked out of the orb into the beam.
I think we have too many people dead. There's also a million orbs right next to him that I don't think anybody's picking up yet. People have 20-something stacks. I don't know what people are doing.
It's too far away.
Bring the other ad over, but this is gonna fall apart. We don't have the DPS to make it to the last 20%. So go ahead and wipe it. It's good, guys. That first transition was actually really good. We could have stacked up a little bit better for the second or third round of ads that spawned. And I think that would have done a little bit better.
Cool.
But otherwise, the first round
I'm
of
glad
ads,
you guys enjoyed
first,
the zombie modes. I've tried it multiple times,
well.
and it's just
so we're
it's
having
not really my thing.
There's room for improvement, but we've certainly
surviving
improved a
against
shit ton
endless
so far
waves of things has never really been fun to me. But
keep knocking at this.
What is?
You know, I hope you guys enjoy the zombie mode. I might try it like once just to say that I did.
That's just when the boss
for the most part,
finishes his
the
cast.
regular multiplayer and
When he transitions
definitely
it's
the
just an AoE.
blackout mode.
So one-time AoE, it doesn't really hit for too much. It's for 30k to everybody, so.
Oh yeah. It was 25.
Yeah, it spawns 2 orbs when he finishes his cast and does 30k damage. So it might make sense to have 1 healer cooldown ready going into the start of phase 2 just to top off that 30k, but hard to say. I mean, it's the only time we're all universally really taking damage outside of the beam. Reminders, when you get into once he finishes that cast, everyone gets immediately like 10 stacks added to them, but you spawn like 8 orbs around you, or 4 or 5 orbs around you, whatever. As soon as you get hit, the first thing you should do is pick up the orbs you spawn. It can be a little unclear because if you're all next to people, you might be grabbing somebody else's orb, they might be grabbing yours. But everyone immediately gets like 10 stacks. Everyone, the first thing they should do into that transition is pick up their orbs and then get to the circle. If you're a tank, pick up your orbs while picking up the target. If you're a healer, pick up the orbs, start healing people. But if you don't pick up those orbs, you have 10% less HP, and you're taking 10k damage every 3 seconds for no reason. So the fact there were so many orbs up next to that first destroyer once we got to that second transition meant either a bunch of people died and didn't pick them up, or people just didn't pick up their shit. That's also a chance to rebalance things, that if you've been very good and have 0 stacks, maybe you pick up only a couple.
I'm sure you guys are just
kind of
filling the time until midnight.
Because I mean, it's there's diminished returns on picking them up. You can never completely clear yourself, so leaving a few for some of the other people might be worthwhile. All right. Otherwise, let's do this. I want to get to the second transition with everybody alive, and we'll be in such a good place. Then it can be a little sloppy. Who gives a shit? We just get to 20% lust and spread the fuck out, and we're done.
Considerably better run, though.
Yeah. Also, there's a reminder, that very first destroyer we're killing, do not interrupt it right away. Wait as long as you can to interrupt it, because while it's casting, it's not touching the tanks, and it's not doing essence shear. So the longer you wait on those interrupts, the less of a chance he has to put essence shear on the tank. So never interrupt something unless it's about to go off. There we go.
5,
Which is generally the case in every raid, but very importantly here. First one, I won't get hit by that. Good. No, I shouldn't get right. Okay. There are a few stacks in melee tanks that you can pick up. Milky and Widow, I think you guys both got hit by that.
I was dumping Ruin.
And be very careful when dropping Ruin not to get hit by that beam as well. That's a bunch of extra stacks. Make sure you wipe those stacks, because if you're at 12, you're not going to survive the transition. Like, yeah. Everyone should be at less than 8 stacks at all times, and you should be down. Like, you can wipe all your stacks. If you get hit by anything, you should wipe yourself as quickly as
Isn't the
possible.
zombie mode
Unless
like
I say
completely
otherwise.
randomly generated like
Sorry,
each time? So each time you
We
play,
have 2
it's
people
like
who got hit by that
kind of a
are
new
doing worse off than
adventure.
last go. Like, those add up very quickly, guys. Every time you do it, that's a permanent 2 stacks you're gonna have for the rest of the fight. You can't clear it.
Sorry, I was getting an angle on somebody and had my back.
Always be looking at the boss. The moves come frequently enough you can't afford not to. Like Milky, you should be picking up these things in the center. There's 2 free orbs, and you're at 8 stacks for a while.
God
Shouldn't
damn it.
be babysitting people, guys. Manage your own stacks. It's the reason. If you die, 9 times out of 10, it's because
On me, Brandon.
All right, head towards the circle, guys. Remember, you don't have to stack on the circle. Just head towards it. There are orbs up, so grab them. Now's a great chance to grab orbs if you have hits. Nobody really has more than a couple people up 4, but all right, grab these initial orbs, grab them, and then get over to the circle. Grab your orbs and get to circle. Onk up, Milky. Go ahead, onk up, yeah. Stack up on the circle. Don't be in front of them. Get them closer to the wall. Good. All right, good. Someone interrupt that one. Good. Alright, pick up those orbs, bed, and let's get the other one over here. Stay close, guys. Some of these ads are a little over the place. Focus on the destroyer first. Remember, cleave off the destroyer.
Don't be in front of him.
Stay closer to the circle, guys. Close to the circle. Alright, these spawned. Spawn close enough. Beam. Some of you may need to pick up some orbs. Dwarf, you need to pick up all the orbs you fucking can. Bedpost on top of them. You guys, don't pick up these orbs, guys. Leave them for the tanks. Leave them for the tanks. Leave them for the tanks. Watch the beam. Take these ads out. Make sure you're interrupting them. Look at that. 4 people died in that beam. Guys, you can avoid the, like, if you're taking any damage from the beam, you're already moving too slow. Realistically, yes, you're not going to be, like, wipe it, but we've already wiped. Realistically, yes, you're not going to be able to dodge the beam before it's cast every single time. But if you're never dodging them before the cast, when it's pointed at you, you're too slow.
Alright, I'll pretty much do whatever.
Every second you get hit by that beam is massive damage and getting stacks of that debuff. Again, I don't like making threats, but the people who can't dodge the beam can't do this. They make this unreliable. Me? We gotta do that transition clean twice, guys. People are getting hit by the beam too much, and oh yeah, people are getting hit by the beam too much, and I'm having to babysit people with those orbs. Neither of those things are my responsibility. I mean, dodging the beam is my responsibility, sure, but calling for people that. I mean, when we're stacked up, guys, you should just be standing on the actual mark, the circle. That is the stack up point. That is the mark. So, like, you should be at the circle, and if there's a beam, dodge it, and then get back to the circle mark. That's all there is to it.
The best
If
way.
you watch Dastard, he's never in the beam, so just hang around him.
Oh,
Jesus.
you can't quite do that because I'm not also at the circle.
And he doesn't want people not at the circle.
I commonly I bait the beams out of the group by standing in melee range because that still's a thing. I stand melee range off to the side, and I spawn an ad every now and then, which sucks, but it forces half the beams to be out of the group. So, is that positive?
Well, then let's designate a designated beam dodger, and we'll follow him.
I think people just need to dodge the beam.
Personal accountability is not that scary, is it?
I mean, like,
it sounds so easy.
I mean, like, what? I mean, here's the thing, guys. You're stacking at the circle. There are no orbs. There's no standard like shockwave move. There's no ruin. All you have to do is nuke the boss and throw an interrupt in. While you're doing that, be you a healer, a tank, DPS, you have your camera facing towards the boss, and you just look. And you just look for the beams and dodge the beams. That's it. Your responsibility is to dodge beams and nuke the ad. I don't know why people like. I have a feeling half of the people here are facing the ad with their camera and nuking that while trying to pay attention to. Well, no, while trying to guess when the beam is coming and then dodge it. Like that's not how to do this. You look at the boss, you dodge the beam. You don't have your camera pointed in the same direction you're attacking the ad. There's nothing to look at with the ad. It's just a wall where everyone's stacked up. Like if you're facing that, you're wasting your time.
Oh no, it's breaking the illusion. You can see my monitor.
Alright, here we go. I get the idea, guys. If it was a really tough mechanic that I could help you guys with by marking somebody up and all that, I would be all for it. But because it's literally the only thing you have to look at, there's no reason I feel justified needing it. I'd rather weed out the people who can't dodge it reliably, because those are the people we can't be taking into Mythic. People get hit by lasers during Mother. Somebody got hit by that shockwave and has not picked up any orbs.
Cool, I need orbs.
Nope, take their orbs, and if they die... Oh, roger. Shit, dude, you just got hit by 2 shockwaves in a row.
I'll get raided. Some people are leaving orbs in the back of the room after they get hit by a ruin. You should be picking up all the orbs from the ruin. Here's the transition, guys. Pick up any orbs as you can quickly, and then head over to the circle. Pick up all the orbs you can, and then get the circle. Now's a chance to wipe the slate clean for those of you who fucked up. Alright, pick up orbs and get over to the circle.
Someone's gonna have to come get this dastard to interrupt.
Why?
Never mind, he gripped me out.
Alright.
Well, I'm fucked on work.
There's a bunch that are going to get dropped as people get hit by the beam, so... Yeah, the first round of ads. Alright, bring the ad over, nuke these things. Stack up at the circle, get ready for the next beam. It can be any second. There it is. Focus on the... bring the ad closer to the... Actually, it's fine there. Or beam again, beam again. That's a good catch here. Yeah. What are the tank stacks? That's actually not terrible. Onk up Raiden and battle res me. Finish off these ads, guys. These ads have to die. Okay, we lost. Nope, don't. That was a waste of res on Raiden. Then wipe it. Oh, that went from okay. What? I'm curious because that's twice now that we've had like maybe only 1 or 2 deaths after the transition, or no deaths after the transition, and immediately following the transition, like 3 people die.
I think with my mobility, I move faster than the healers do, so I'm kind of on my own for a little bit there.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's an obvious thing on the tank. I mean, like, why do we lose 3 DPS every single time?
I got in the beam.
Mind flays.
Yep, mind flays.
Yeah, that's what it is most of the time.
It's
Though.
all
I
just
tried to
mind flays.
dispel, but
Mind flay.
they're
I got
channeled, so-
3 mind flays, and then Crashy and Oblivion is what finished it off.
Okay, then what's happening is we're spending so much time spreading out, trying to avoid the orbs, that as we're spreading out, people are just dropping to the mind flays because we're not stacked up for heals anymore. So then we might need a healing cooldown coming out of the transition to ensure everyone survives until we can get those mind flays under control. Because that's been a consistent, like every single time, even when we've gone through phase 2 with 0 deaths, exiting we immediately lose 3 people, and it just has to be the mind flays then. So we should have something prepared each time for that.
you could do a healing cooldown, or if you're like about to die, just pop your save your hellstone for that part.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I prefer saving the hellstones for people's personal. I mean,
shit button.
Yeah, the personal when just like something goes wrong, they know they got hit by the beam or something like that, and they know that they need to use it. So if possible, considering again we're not really coordinating the healing cooldowns for almost anything else, that seems to be one of the few places where there's
So Zasmo,
an
do you
actual
ever actually
decent
play
reason
any like
to.
single player games, or are you exclusively a social?
Are we at 24 yet? No, we're not until Baja gets kicked.
We're at 24.
So we have
Seems like you
X-Fry
pretty much
doing
just
it
play
as soon as we bunch up. I could do mine at the end.
That probably makes the most sense because people are already spreading out. So using the shaman ones while we're stacked up makes more sense. And then after we start the process of spreading out, that'll work. Plus, they're fairly spaced apart. I think the transitions are like 3 minutes apart from one another. So your trank should be up again without a problem. Then likely up for the... actually, yeah, that's probably it. So, okay, let's do that then. Oh, Baja's back, so he doesn't get booted. Overall, guys, we're doing mostly fine. Like, that phase 1 is looking pretty decent, with the exception of a few individuals having difficulties dodging the shockwave. We're looking pretty
There's just a
fine
few
here.
people sucking dick.
Yeah, we're looking pretty decent. And if we don't get this, within the next hour or so, we'll just start having the people who are getting routinely hit by shockwaves or not dodging the beam step out. And that's it.
Baja, did you get that invite?
I just learned from my headset.
I sent you an invite. There we go.
I sent him one too.
I start playing bass again. Being a bit.
Usually happen at least once during a pull, but usually she'll leave me alone at that point.
Alright, here's the countdown. Remember, this is all just about survivability. We haven't wiped once yet due to lack of DPS, or due to lack of heals, or anything like that. We've been dying because of people making individual poor decisions. This is all about staying alive as long as you can.
It's on me, Band.
Where are those orbs in the center coming from?
I got
glad we got good healers. We have a lot of
Those
people
orbs
that
up quick
suck.
solo.
We also have some real good fucking healers in the guild.
Beware.
Shit, fucking need them too.
3, 2, 1.
Yeet.
I'll wait after the beam widow.
Alright.
Right as I put my bubble
Pick up some of these orbs. Shifted, Widow are the most stacks at the moment, so try to clear yourself. Alright. Free us and get right onto the circle. Get right onto that circle. This asshole warlock who dotted me up.
Beware.
Stack up on the circle. Out of that. If you get hit, pick up some of the orbs. Alright, first round of ads are up. Watch the beam.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of y'all just stood in that second.
No. You essence sheared. The tank turned him at the last second and essence sheared like 3 of us.
He wasn't talking about you necessarily.
Really just for me.
Let's see if we can heal through the transition, though. I just want to try that before I potentially call wipe beam. There's a lot of messages. Cheers. Tanks, you guys got way too many stacks. But all DPS know that the minions are like the lowest priority there, right? That the priority is to kill that big ad before it obliterates the tanks.
Yeah, I think we got like 3 at least of the essence shears from the mobs.
Yeah, people are completely misprioritizing their targets.
3, 2.
The ads are passively cleaved while you're taking out the big ads, but if the big ads get an extra essence shear, that means the tanks are permanently like 20% less HP, which really fucking sucks.
3,
Wipe it.
2, 1.
Wipe it.
I'm gonna volunteer to step out. I'm having real problems seeing that beam when we're stacked up like that.
Beware.
Like, just kind of get a good timing in your head, like when to actually generally move. Honestly, I mean,
well, the problem is also the beam is not consistent. There's a timer for when he can do it, and then sometimes he only's done 3 beams. Sometimes he'll do 6 beams. It varies incredibly wildly.
Yeah, it's not so much the timing I'm having problem with. It's just so much stuff in the way, and it's just hard to tell if he's casting or if he's not casting.
You can set a DBM sound for that.
Yeah, maybe next week I'll try. But I'll let you guys go ahead. Because there's twice in a row I've gotten hit by that. So.
I mean, if you as I said, if you get clipped by it, you're gonna get clipped by it. It's fine. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, I'm not expecting someone here to dodge every single beam perfectly. That's not.
You can do it.
Like, it's possible, but I'm gonna say most of the people who are dodging perfectly are likely also not at the circle, and they're like, I didn't get hit. Yeah, because you weren't in the clump where the beam was 90% of the time. That's not dodging the beam. That's not being where you're supposed to.
Yeah, no, I've been hit plenty of times by the beam, but like,
yeah.
The thing is, if you do get hit, it's to only get a stack or 2. If you recognize it's happening and you move a second or 2 slow, you'll get a stack or 2. That's fine. You drop green orbs, you pick up the orbs, keep going. You get 2 stacks, whatever. It's the people who are sitting there and I see go from 0 to 16, and I go, what the fuck are you doing? Those are the people that that need to clean up the
Also,
track.
you should not be getting hit in phase 1. Like, that's just silly.
Yeah, no. After the break, we're going to be dropping people getting hit in phase 1 by stuff. The repeated offenders. Again, if you're that one time you got hit by it while you were running out ruin, whatever, you pay more attention next time. The end. The people who can't dodge the shockwave to save their life, they just need to be sit out, unfortunately. And we'll do that after the break.
I hate it when you get mind flayed and then he does the beam and you're like there's I don't even know how to get out, like how to survive that.
Can't move.
You can't. Well, you can, but it's like, or I'll pop tranquility, and then it's like, the beam points directly at me, so it's like I either die and heal everyone, or like cut my cooldown short.
And again, and again, having the Mind Flay channeled on you is a perfectly valid reason for getting clipped by a tick or two. That's why I don't expect anyone to be perfect with regards to the beams. Being slowed 50% surprise
Hey, what up,
drastically impacts your
Lucky?
ability
Khajiit?
to dodge something, as we've seen with the I beam as well. So it's
cock-a-doodle-doo.
that's what I'm saying. There are exceptions to all these things I'm saying. It's repeated offenses. The people who are 3 times in a row sitting in there and getting 30 stacks when they're just not even noticing they're in the beam. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Those are the people that I'm calling out right now.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, let's take one more go.
Mega Ultra
one more go
Chicken.
here, and then we'll take our break.
If we're gonna need another cauldron, I'm gonna need some more stuff. Just a heads up.
I think we have Blue. I think Bloom might have some for after the break. We'll discuss that afterwards. Let's go, guys. Here we go.
5,
4.
Somebody jumped early.
Oh, that's a waste.
3, 2,
Die or?
Yeah, just dying. Let's go again. Fuck it. Yeah, if someone jumps early like that, guys, don't jump after him. Just wait. Just let them die so we don't all waste all of our food and all that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Is that a chicken with its head up its
Yeah,
own
we'll do
ass?
guild repairs. Shouldn't need any of
can't
them
tell
quite
what that
yet
is.
if you came in here fully repaired, I think.
Looks like a turkey with its head up its own ass.
After the break, we'll
That's
do
what I'm
that.
going with. Sonny boy. Good kitty. Big old cat.
Alright, here we go.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pardon me while I eat. Alright. Stacks up. Get my buff. Start my heal train. Make the healer's jobs easy as fuck.
3, 2, 1.
Because I care about my healers. I want my healers to have it tonight. I want my healers to know that I care. Because that's all anybody wants. Just be cared about. Sometimes it don't even matter about who. I figure the healers appreciate a tank that
few people
is
with 8 stacks.
considerate.
There's plenty of orbs in the center. You should be dropping your stacks. No one should have 8.
Come on, Nova, can try to get an angle.
2, 1.
Circle is really congested because everyone was standing right by Circle, FYI.
3, 2, 1.
Yoip. Nice and cleansed.
It's not great.
Beware.
Give yourself to the flag. Roar. I'm an edgy edge lord.
Collect orbs going to this transition. You're gonna have to head to Circle. It's gonna be a little tricky, but that's our stack up point.
Circle's
Yeah,
gross
I
right
know.
now.
A bunch of range stayed there longer than they should have.
It's too far away.
Alright, stack up on the circle, guys. You're gonna have to dodge always away from the mind control. Remember, always dodge away from the mind control. Or the mind control orbs, obviously. Alright, that didn't go through, so we should be able to kill this before he does the shear, if we're lucky. Stack up close, stack up close. Yeah, we skipped it, good.
Oh, you guys are gods.
Alright, bring the ads over, dwarf, quick. Quick, and make sure you taunt off him right away. Watch out, there are mind control orbs, so you're gonna have to loop around them, so taunt him through it if you can.
Here, I got the taunt.
The thing's going right to the middle.
Somebody dodge right into the mind control orb. Focus on the big guy. Focus on the big guy. Beam.
Shit.
Careful with Raiden. If you get a couple of those mind flays on you, use a defensive cooldown. But kill the big guy quickly.
Get back to circle.
No more ads should be spawning. No more ads should be spawning. It's only 2 rounds. Alright, take out these ads. Spread out, guys. A couple of people down. Let's make sure we have a healing cooldown. Pick up the orbs tanks. They need it first. Let the tanks grab it. Battle res Milky? Battle res Milky. Let's take these ads out.
I'm down.
Interrupt them. Oh, how?
I don't know. I had a mitigation up and everything.
Oh, we don't have a battle res, so how did he drop? And he's dropped a couple times now coming back from the transition.
Hey, so we're trying to heal up the people after the transition, and then it's just he's running over there too quickly.
I mean, we just have to segment the roles then. There's 6 healers. We have more healers than this fight's designed to be done with, to be fair. So that means if we have 1 or 2 people staying using cooldowns to keep people up with the Mind Flay, there should be at least 1 or 2 healers following the tanks and watching.
Well, we had X Pride down and Milky, so that just leaves Novak, Pinky, and I was trying to battle res Milky, so that just leaves the other shaman.
2, 1.
I was in a spear and died this last time, actually.
Oh, I got Soulstone up, but that looks like it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Wipe it. Just
So it's kind of beam problem again.
Beam problem? What do you mean?
Because we had the 2 healers died from beams, and then we were trying to recover from that, and then when Bedpost ran over, there was just not enough healing power.
We're on the break, right?
Okay, if we keep having DPS step out, we're gonna have to kick healers, guys.
Yeah, like the people who are all volunteering to leave, and those are big quotations and all that. I'm gonna ask people to leave. The people who are leaving are not people I was gonna have asked to leave at all. You guys have not screwed up nearly as much as people at the bottom of the meters, so that's a very silly thing to do.
I'm still here if you need or want me back in. I'm just outside the gate.
Break time?
Yeah, we'll take our break. But I think the healers will fucking lynch me if I have all the paladins step out. So let's not. Also, we do not have too much melee. There's 7 melee, which is completely fine. In fact, 7 melee, if you had a mythic team here, you would have 5 healers, 2 tanks, that's 7 people. That means you have 13 other people, and of those 13 other people, you would have pretty much half healers and half melee. So you would have about 6 to 7 melee, so we do not have too much. If there's not enough room to spread out, then people are just being stupid, but we do not have too much.
I think the big problem, or at least what I've seen, is melee coming back from Ruin, trying to find their spot again, and then getting hit.
By what? The orb?
Yeah, the orbs. I saw 2 attempts ago coming back from Ruin. Someone was trying to juggle their spot and they hit a bunch of us when they got hit by an orb.
Try kitty.
Have we had more than 3 people get hit? I haven't noticed any group of 3 people getting mind controlled. It's always been 1 for the most part, and occasionally 2. Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong.
There were 3 of us, 2 attempts ago in melee, and it was just because someone was coming back from Ruin and trying to insert themselves back into the pack.
I don't remember that, but
Yeah, so
I've
I mean,
only I've only noticed 2.
So I mean, if that's happened, that's an incredible outlier. So I mean, that's just more evidence of the fact that I don't think we're melee heavy.
I haven't had any problems in melee. I stand around the pets because people think those are other people and they stay away from them.
Let's take our break here, and when we come back, yeah.
Don't you start thinking about using my idea either.
Did Myro drop Discord? So did all my stuff I just say just fall on deaf ears?
Yeah.
Cool. Also, just to be clear, guys, going forward, the protocol is whisper me, say, hey, I'm willing to step out if it's going to make things easier. I will say yay or nay, and then you step out. If you just leave and say there's too much of this, or you leave like without being prompted, that's rage quitting. That's not being generous, just going forward, just so you know. That requires me to rebalance things, and it doesn't actually improve anything unless you talk to me first. So it may be goodwill intention, but let's follow proper protocol, please. Anyway, let's take our break here, and then officers, let's get that swap.
Alright, guess it's break.
Would one of you two who helped me put up the stone click the actual summon? Thank you.
Gammon will save us. Gammon will save us.
Alright, I'm back. I forgot to relog to save my flask. Oops. Alright, let's well, once everyone gets back, we'll drop another cauldron down. Bloom, do you happen to have one on you?
I sure do.
Cool. Please check ready if you're good to go. I want to get moving as soon as possible. We have a couple people who are still not back.
I have a feeling Dastard Senpai is gonna figure it out.
I'm back.
Do I have enchants and shit on all my stuff? Yeah, I do.
Just 3 people who are still out here, and we'll be good to go.
Myra said he was relogging.
Right. X Pride and Rev both good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, Bed, things have been fine. There was a couple times you turned the ad and it cleaved us, but that was very obvious immediately that happened. Yes, and shears are fairly low. If we're doing this correctly, at most maybe they're getting only 1 cast off. So just make sure if they haven't done Essence Shear in a while that you don't move them, or if you do move them, you're very quick to turn them towards the wall again.
Yeah, I think sometimes the Essence Shears like coincide with him shooting his little blast, so sometimes I move to get out of the way early, and yeah, I'll be careful.
Yep. Which is just an unfortunate timing. It'll happen because of the random nature of things.
Just don't be afraid to call me out if you see me do something stupid.
Oh, I don't. Alright, let's... Myrosh better be back very soon. Alright, let me just look through a couple of the logs here, make sure I don't want to make any other swaps around.
I have a question for the raid.
Yes.
Nobody that I've asked has answered me. What add-on do I have to get that allows me to click links in game?
Pratt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does he do have cleave? Yes, he does. Essence Shears a cleave, and also you don't want to be in front of him because if so, you can bait the shockwave through the tanks, which forces them to move, which then puts other people at risk of a cleave. So you can dodge a shockwave heading in front of the tanks, but then you have to move away from the front of the tanks immediately before the next shockwave.
Well, and he always cleaves like right after a shockwave too.
Yeah, so yes, if you're smart about the timing, you can theoretically stack on the tanks and then run away right before every single shockwave or every single blast. Sure, but if you're gonna do that, you have to be perfect. The big ads do the exact same cleave. Oh, there is a timer for the next Essence Shear. I see. We'll check there's not any extra timers I can turn on for phase 2. Timer for Veil, that's not a big deal. Show timer for next vision, that's not a big deal. So timer for beam cooldown. Ah, I see. That's not an announcement. Alright, well, we're getting started here. Let's drop the cauldron.
I don't have one.
Bloom does.
Okay, cool.
Someone could pick up an extra flash from Myro. Cool. Why is that? Oh, I mean, if that's the case, we can also drop people. So, Raja. So, if you've been talking to them and they feel that that makes more sense, then yeah, go for it.
That's right.
Anchor weight is used in every flask, and then pretty much every other herb is used in flasks.
All right.
For the cauldron, you need 3 of each flask. So.
It's still up, so I mean, get extra.
Yeah, grab some extra ones here, guys. They'll last us for the rest of the night, and we can trade them to anybody else who we end up inviting. I'm just gonna drop Myro until he comes back on, but I have a feeling he's not going to, and until there was an issue with his internet.
Write that down, guys.
What?
Usually, as soon as you kick someone, they come right back on.
Yeah, but I get the sense he didn't want to be here, and if I can't rely on somebody and they don't give me a good reason, then fuck them. Oof!
Put that down on my little notebook here. If you leave mad, make sure you tell Dastard a lie.
Tell
A
him why you're
believable
leaving.
lie.
And have him
Scratch
okay
that
it.
believable.
I'm gonna do the countdown, guys, so let's get moving. No, I mean, like, real life shit's fine. If someone tells me, hey man, I'm sorry, something just came up, I can't be on, I'll go, sure, whatever, go and leave. Someone
No
says,
one can click this anymore.
someone has to be able to click it.
Give me a
Everybody fucking
second.
click it.
I'm talking.
If you just fucking ghost us or whatever, then you can go fuck yourself.
Dang.
No, I usually just lay on hands, Dastard.
Let's
My
go one more here,
internet.
Let's do one more here, but yeah, I mean, especially with losing a DPS, there's a good chance we'll have to drop a heal, so we'll see after this go what makes the most sense. So, Shen, can you grab an extra flask before hopping down? Alright, well, we're just gonna go because I'm tired of waiting at this point. Here we go, guys.
5, 4, 3.
I guess this, yeah, we're not close to 30, so there's probably a ton.
Oh,
good
shit.
start. Yeah, you gotta spend the first, like, 5 seconds spreading out. The very first thing he does is the orbs. And someone's gonna run right into that.
Beware.
And then stay clear of the circle as much as you can. Ghost, you get clipped there. Gotta watch those.
On me, being the.
There's a bunch of people with 4 stacks.
Occasionally, when I drop Imminent Ruin, it doesn't spawn any.
Man, I feel like X-Pride. I have to run these all off.
Hey, people on the right side of the boss, watch behind us. We got a wall.
All I know is there's a bunch of orbs just sitting in the center, so if there's any range who's not cleansed himself, they've just been lazy. Range and healers, there were 3 orbs in the center the entire, from the start of the fight to now, there are orbs.
Oh, I was hitting him on the reg.
And Milky's down.
I'm dead.
I have no clue how to.
You have 14 stacks, you've gotten hit by a bunch of avoidable stuff. You're getting hit a lot more than most other healers by avoidable stuff. That's why.
I was dropping an orb in the back. I don't know one. I didn't hit the wave.
Barbarian, motherfucker.
Mine.
You saw me running for those.
Watch out, Beeman coming in a few seconds. There it is. Dodge it, and then make sure you stack back up for the next round of ads.
We should be bringing that ad over, maybe.
Yep. Should swap tanks.
Already did.
Good.
Everybody being.
Let's cut out the useless chatter, guys. Take out these ads, and we're fucked. Just wipe it. That's just gonna kill us. That was like 6, 7 people all grabbed at the same time.
The second big boy probably should have been brought over a good like 10 seconds sooner.
I know. I didn't call it out because I'm dealing with a bunch of other crap at the moment. My patience has begun to run very thin, so hold up a moment. I agree. Let's go with that. Let's.
I have many lucky news to tell you, buddy.
Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm not dropping anyone for this next go here, but note that for balance sake, we're very, very, very likely going to be dropping a healer if people continue to make mistakes. So if people are getting too many stacks, that's probably the first person I'm going to drop. Milky, you've had been getting hit a bit much, and that last go was one of them as well. So it might be you. If you focus a little bit more on making sure you don't get hit by that shit, and you don't get hit by that shit, we're fine. But if it's another 10 plus stack one, then I'm probably gonna have to ask you to step out. And that's just gonna be that. So yeah, I'm giving you one more go, at least one more go here, where I'm saying make sure you focus on dodging stuff over trying to get that last heal in, and we'll proceed from there. But Yeah. To the range and healers, that last go again, there were like 5 orbs in the center that I was looking at that nobody picked up. They weren't like continuously recycled. They were just there. Nobody picked them up. And I saw a bunch of you that had stacks that never bothered picking them up at any point in time. If you have 1 stack, if there's an orb nearby, you should always pick it up. There's no reason to not fully cleanse yourself. And I'm going to start grilling the people who aren't why they are not doing it. Because it's so silly. I should see no orbs up, almost like I should have to ask for extra tank orbs if the tanks need more. I shouldn't have a bank of them sitting around there. The strategy is you get hit by anything, you cleanse all your stacks. Plain simple. If you have 1 lingering stack, then hold on to that 1 lingering stack. If a bunch of extra orbs appear in the center, sometimes extra spawn, pick them up if you have them. If you only have 1 stack or 2 stacks, maybe wait. If you have 6, I don't know why you're not running around actively looking for it. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I need to target something first. I need to get closer.
3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Stacks on here.
3, 2, 1.
Dwarf, there's a few. There's at least 1 in melee. You should grab that. Orbs in 5 seconds. Doesn't seem to be many orbs to pick up, so that's good. If you have 4, that's fine. That'll happen.
Beware.
On me being. Somebody help.
I'll do it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Nobody else wastes their DPS. Ouch. Transition happening. Head towards circles, spread out loosely. Still stay spread out until those orbs spawn. Alright, now go ahead and stack up. Grab these orbs and then stack up. Sadly, there's a bunch of orbs to collect, but they're in the middle of that crap. In practice, if you can stay away from the orbs, that'll prevent the purple orbs. That'll prevent the green ones from spawning on top of them. Alright, get ready to drag him over. Drag him over in 2, 1. Now drag him, drag him. Alright, get ready for the beam.
I can clear my stacks right now.
That's, yeah, that's just unfortunate. Try to do it when some of those orbs despawn, try to pick them up, but more will appear in just a second. Alright, stack up on circle, get on circle, get on circle. There's that first shear. Alright, good. Most people were on circle, a couple weren't.
Beware, it's too far away.
Alright, personal offenses if you get more than 1 mind flay put on you. Finish his big ad. Tanks get ready. Healers who are watching the tanks get ready to shadow. Beam, last beam. This will be the last one. Alright, start taking these ads out. Melee help out as much as you can. There are some orbs up if people have a lot of stacks. Kinky, Dwarf, should be picking up the majority of them. Kinky, I think, needs them most, but also Dwarf. Dwarf should pick them up with the highest priority. Alright, kill these ads. Make sure you're spread out at this point. Get interrupts on these ads where it was taking them out. Watch the beam. Get a battle res on Bloom.
Beware.
Alright, these ads are just about done, so.
It's too far away.
Alright, there's some orbs in the center and the back. I think you probably want to pick those up since you have highest stacks. You and Bloom. Dwarf actually is pretty damn high. Dwarf might need to pick some of these up.
There's one more vision in the back.
Is there? Then range, take that out. Melee, get back onto the boss. Just watch out for the shockwaves in the orbs.
On me, BMD.
Shockwave. Alright, we're back to steady state now, so there are a couple orbs in melee. Dwarf, save those for Dwarf at this point. Don't pick up any extra orbs. Don't get hit by anything. But Dwarf is going to need to pick some of those up. If not, we're going to have to feed him a few during the transition. But make sure you have a big cooldown for the shears.
I believe in you, Dwarf. Clean the shit out of that.
Let me know when we have another. We should have one battle res up at this point, right?
Yep.
Wait for my call. We might need to save it for the tanks. That Dwarf's down with 50 stacks. How's he at 50? Pick Dwarf up, but we gotta figure out how to clean Dwarf stacks. Because he's gaining them rather than losing them. Like he has 50% reduced.
I don't think he's really running off hunting them down.
Dwarf, you gotta move off me, man.
We're about to hit the transition, so... what healer's following the Dwarf? What healer follows Dwarf?
I am.
Alright, you and me, both of our orbs are gonna go all to Dwarf before he picks up the ad. Everyone get to circle. We just can't pick any orbs up. Stay away from the orbs, stay away from the orbs. Use the defensive here if you have to. Everyone get to the circle, and our orbs are all for you, Dwarf. Go for it.
I'm coming.
Alright, stack on the circle, guys. Stack on the circle. Watch the beams. Ads are going to appear in just a second, so make sure you're stacked up. Stack up, stack up. Next beam will be in a few seconds here.
Thumb down.
You're at 68. How?
I went hunting for orbs and there just weren't any.
Alright, we need to communicate that better than if you are taunting and you find no orbs one round and you have stacks lingering over, let us know for the next one when you're almost about to get sheared, and we'll intentionally spawn a couple just beforehand. But like, at most, you should have 20. If you ever go above to like 30 or 40 or something like that, you just can't survive. It's impossible. And once we get to the 20% mark, you need to be clear before we get to that. Otherwise, you're just going to drop as well. So the big issue there is we were struggling to get the stacks off of you. We had 2 people die, which was not bad considering how far we got along there. But yeah, we need to wipe those stacks. And I'm completely fine getting hit and spawning some extra orbs because, funny enough, I'm always able to find extra orbs around the room. Yeah, let me turn on the guild repairs real fast.
Hey, you two, stop.
This is quick, so let's do it fast.
What's up? Keep it real.
Alright, go for it. It's only going to be open for about 20 seconds here, so repair quick. Funny enough, Yuri, Arcane is higher single target, Frost is just higher AoE.
Yep, but with the gear, I'm doing more with Frost. Because the WoW gods hate.
Alright, I'm closing guild repairs in 10 seconds. Alright, closing. That was our... oh. I opened it up for officers, raiders, and grunts.
Don't worry, X-Prime, me either.
Sorry, I'll make sure people get the appropriate ranks after this raid. But if I open up to Peons, every fucker online can prepare.
Hurry in and log all my alts in to get those free guild repairs.
In 20 seconds.
Alright, let's eat up. Let's get ready here.
I'm really feeling this. I think we can get it. People just need to stop standing and shit. That's like every fight. Don't stand and shit. Do your job.
I'm the only paladin left.
I guess Myro ghosted us, so...
Oh, that's why I don't have wisdom and I'm running out of mana.
I don't have wisdom either.
Now you know our pain.
I only give it to Bloom because we're related. And she gives me free pots.
That helps the raid a lot.
We.
Yeah, let's go again here. Some people do need to bring their numbers up. The people who are dead, yeah, okay, you'll be beneath healers, but yeah. Alaska, at least one other DPS was less than heals, which should not be the case. Again, dropping DPS is not a solution right now. If we do, we'll have to drop more heals. So, we have, for the most part, the DPS for this. What we don't have at the moment is the, well, people not getting fucking murdered by stuff.
Situational awareness.
Alright, here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, yo! Yeah, whatever, fuck nuts.
Yeah, my cooldown.
Don't get too close to the circle, guys, unless you absolutely have to avoid people. Remember, keeping that area clear of orbs helps.
Dragon.
it. Ah. Gotta grab those solo. There's a bunch in melee, so grab them. Everyone should have less than 6 stacks going into this this phase here. Healers, be careful not to stand near one another. If both of you get orbed, that's a good chance for somebody to die, so spread out. Dwarf still has some stacks here, so we're gonna have to be extra careful to get his stacks cleansed. Grab some orbs and get over there to the circle. Get to the circle. No, somebody ran right into beam. Stack up, kill this thing quick. You can get him before the shear. Get out of that. Bring the other one over, bring it over, quick. Book it. Range, you should already switch to it. Beam. Stack up for the second round of ads. Alright, you can spread out a little bit now. The ads don't spawn anymore, so I feel like you have to stack up. Dodge this beam. Save these orbs for the tanks. Tanks, cleanse yourself completely. Can we get one healer cooldown to make sure we don't drop here? Watch this beam. That should be the last beam. So, alright. Let the tanks clear themselves first, and then they get first pick, and then DPS after. Alright, tanks are clear, so go ahead and drag them away. And go ahead and grab orbs. Spread out quick. We have 3 seconds. Alright. Melee, if you don't have room to help, that was very close to some of us guys. The people who just blew up near us, you probably gave us all stacks.
It's on me.
A bunch of people, hold up. I see other people freeing, it's not your job. If Raj's hit, that's not your job.
Need a healer cold.
Alright, there are a bunch of orbs up on the side, so let's see. Ghost, Kinky, Raiden, Bloom, and myself, we have the highest stack, so we should grab some.
Beware.
Alright. Tanks are good, so let's prioritize Bloom, Raiden, and Kinky getting their stacks cleared. Ghost, you just have to be extra careful.
Beware.
We're fine though. Tanks are low, so we can do this. The people with extra stacks, just if you notice you get a bunch, just use defensive cooldowns. It's a very minor dot, and it's just reduced HP, so
Beware.
quick on those health stones if you get mind flayed or beamed.
It's too far away.
1.
Beware. Closer.
3, 2, 1.
Orbs, make sure you spread. Good. Try not to be near the circle, guys. We're gonna get we have already too many orbs over there, so let's try to keep that area clear. If there's not enough room range, stand on the left side of the room by the square. But I don't want any more people standing near the circle. Alright, we're about at the second transition, guys, so get ready. And we do your best to collect orbs right at the start and clear yourself. Alright, head towards the circle, guys. Head towards the circles. Tanks should be fine.
Try to save some orbs for me.
We're gonna have ruins exploding, just
spread out. Spread out. Stay spread out. And you can move over. You pick up orbs now and just head over to the
I'm down.
If we have a battle rest for Raja, let's pick her up.
Beware.
Beam in a few seconds. Move. Be quick on those beams, guys. Alright, take out this fad. Yeah, let's use some healing cooldowns just to make sure we're safe here. Let's try to keep everybody up. Alright, remember, try to be by the circle. This ad's about to die. Bring it over. Alright, stack up. There will be one more round of ads spawning. Bring them over. Beam.
I really need to get rid of stacks.
Say to be red fast.
It's fine. Just let Dwarf pick it up. Yeah, if we have to wait. Get that interrupt. Get that interrupt. Good. Watch the beam. Make sure this big guy dies quick, guys.
It might be risky, but should we be res Roger?
Beware.
Did we already do so?
She died again.
Fuck.
I say go for it, that's it.
Hold up. Alright, so taking out these ads. Yeah, Onk up Raiden and Battle Res me. I'll free people.
3, 2, 1.
I can spot here. People are dropping. We need some cooldowns to prevent these Mind Flay deaths.
Keep an eye on bed post.
I'm gonna pop cooldowns.
Alright, the Mind Flays are almost dead, so just finish these things off quick. Melee, you can jump on the boss. Make sure you guys run off with those ruins. We're fine here, guys. We're fine. We can do this. Don't worry. Just nice and calm. Keep your stacks low, and as long as we keep the tanks clear, we'll be okay.
Someone needs free Widow.
3, 2.
There are a couple Mind Flays in the back. All range should be taking out these Mind Flays right now. All range, these things need to die quickly before we
Get
get
those
to the
out quick, and they're both healers.
Beware.
3, 2, 1.
Remember to interrupt these Mind Flay targets, guys. There are 3 Mind Flays up.
Yeah,
I'm down.
What?
2. I was in an orb.
3.
Yeah, I was trying to get her out.
1.
We're gonna wipe then. Go ahead and wipe.
That was sloppy, but our best go yet.
Beware.
Yeah. I think we need to make sure we have a cooldown banked for that transition, because I mean at that point we have a moderate number of stacks. Some people already have lower health pools. That coupled with all the Mind Flays and whatnot, and the clips from getting hit by the beam for a second or two is enough to pick people off. And we need to make sure we have a few things just to be extra safe, especially towards the end of that. Yeah, it's a good practice, Roger, in that case to have a defensive cooldown. Like the best 2 times to use defensive cooldowns are when you're detonating your ruin, if it happens to align with something shitty, and the other.
I used a cooldown, but it wasn't my best one, so.
Is somebody constantly clearing their nose into the damn mic?
Maybe.
Somebody has mic nose.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a tissue, Bob.
Novik, we are doing that. The ads don't spawn where we stand. They spawn within like 10 yards of where we stand. So if we all stack up at circle, they can still spawn in a circle around us. That's what's happening. The majority of people are almost right on top of circle, but they're spawning just a couple steps away from us, and that's why they're a little bit spread out. It's to prevent you from being able to trivially AoE them all down, sadly. Or trivially stop them all from casting. The only thing that can take these ads down a little bit faster is a little bit more DPS, but yeah. If a paladin dies, does his wisdom disappear?
No.
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 Okay. Alright, let's get a feast down. Yeah, it's tight. I mean, the hope is as soon as we get that second round of ads down quickly, then this becomes much easier. I made a bad call there. I should have had melee help out. I was trying to spread us out a little bit quickly there, but we had enough range down that it took way too long to kill those. The
Bastard, I need to relog.
Relog quick. Go for it. Go for it. At all times, all DPS needs to help kill all Mind Flay ads, whatever the hell they're called. Something of madness, whatever, vision of madness, whatever, as quickly as possible. If as a melee you cannot DPS an ad without being within melee range of another melee, then don't. If they're all taken and you can't help out with them, then there's no benefit from you attacking them. You should move over to the boss. And in particular, melee, try to avoid attacking the ads right next to the circle. Preferably get the ones that are a little bit away from the circle to avoid you spawning an orb right next to the circle, which obviously impacts our ability to stack up correctly for the next phase.
Also, don't forget, try to get those, I think they're called destroyers, the big boys in phase 2. Try to get those things down quick, because, yeah, the less times they cleave, the better.
We got both of the first ones down before they apply their Essence Shear. The second one takes a little bit longer. if anybody here is a multi-dotter, which is pretty much probably just Ghost, feel free to dot the other one up at the same time. We can't cleave them together, but
I'm good now, Dust.
Okay. I think if we can make it out of that second transition phase, even if we're a little bit low on mana with everybody alive, theoretically all damage is avoidable. The only people, I mean, that will take a small amount of ticking damage from the annihilation stacks, but if we avoid everything and people use cooldowns on Ruin, the only thing that could risk killing the tanks is getting too high stacks of the debuff. Basically every 10 seconds an essence shear is applied, so we hit 20%, we lust, and we have to kill it before each tank is going to get basically 2 stacks of essence shear or something like that. He's expected to get probably hit with 2 things of essence shear, so yeah. Alright, here we go. That looked pretty good though.
4, 3,
Yeet.
2, 1.
I was just kidding, by the way.
3, 2, 1.
Make sure you're spread out. Do whatever you can to minimize stacks, guys. The only thing that will give people stacks that they can't completely remove is Ruin. You'll run back with, get 4 stacks, and then you'll likely only be able to cleanse 2 of them. That's fine, that'll happen, but everything else is avoidable here. Like that, Biden.
2, 1.
It's fine, it's the first time I've seen you hit tonight.
I'm in a sphere.
Yeah, get any first.
Fine.
Beware.
There are a few spare orbs up.
2, 1.
Alright, we're about to hit the transition. Get ready. Pick up any last second orbs that aren't in the middle of a purple circle. Head towards the circle, guys. Head towards the circle. Stay away from the orbs so that your orbs don't appear. Your green orbs don't appear in the purple ones.
Yeet.
Alright, get over to the circle, guys. Get over to the circle, and we have 1 person down. Beam. That interrupt. Good. Should be able to kill him before he does his shear. Bring the other one over, bring the other one over.
He got his shear off.
Did he? Shit. It was a split second.
Beware.
Oh, you're gonna have to taunt either way because you have fewer stacks, so focus on this destroyer, guys. Wait a little bit longer on those interrupts. Stack near the destroyer. Don't stack near the circle if you can. As soon as his beam's done, stack near this destroyer to stack the adds up.
I thought we already got the second round.
Tanks go ahead and clear yourself first. Do not pick up orbs for a second, guys. Do not pick up orbs for just a moment. Let tanks clear themselves first, particularly Dwarf. Dwarf, clear yourself first, and then we'll pick up the remainders. There should be a bunch to pick up. They're all right here by me. Right on top of where the boss was, or where the mini-ad was. Alright, they're all gone. A bunch of them despawned, so we had to pick those up quicker. Like 5 of them were wasted. Alright, finish off these ads, melee and range. And we lost 2 people. If you can onk up Milky, onk up. But I don't know how you're so dropped again. Don't get hit by that. There's 1 ad in the back. How the fuck? Oh, that was the healers. We should have one battle res, correct?
Yep.
Yes. Pick up Yuri. I want to make sure we have enough. Watch that beam.
Got one.
Yeah, I seem to have both dead back here by the triangle. I don't know why anyone was back here during the transition. This is too far away. You're not going to get heals if you're over the triangle, guys. Alright, stay clear of the circle.
I'll get chemo.
Watch the beam.
I gotta move though for a sec.
Alright. Take note if you have any stacks, guys. I mean, the amount people have is reasonable at this point in the fight. No one's terribly high here. Ghost Dwarf is a little high. Ghost Yuri's a little high. But otherwise, it's all fairly reasonable.
Widow's down.
Yep. I have to live with it. We have to save the battle rest for tanks. Unless we lose a bunch more DPS, we have to save it. And
I'm orbed.
that's another one down.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know Bandon was running.
That's 2 DPS down during this phase. Drag the boss a little bit clockwise after this beam. Oh, another person's down. Why are we not keeping up?
That was just ruined. The hit.
Same for me.
The whole path was blocked.
If we lost 3 people to ruin, we're doing something wrong. Either we have a bad assignment, people aren't using cooldowns. Just wipe it. We have too much DPS dead. Wipe it. We lost 4 DPS during that phase.
Was somebody too close with Ruin?
I got killed by Ruin too, running back.
The very last one, I know I probably killed people, but my whole path was blocked by these orbs. I couldn't run.
Yeah, you didn't kill me, but you gave me a bunch of stacks. But I was alright.
Yeah, Baha, I was trying to angle to try to get you out of it.
So why are people dying to ruin? Are you running out of healing range? Are you not using a defensive cooldown?
I died to somebody blowing up with Ruin. I didn't have it. I was in like the middle of the room when it happened.
I died with Ruin. I got it like 6 times that fight. I just ran out of cooldowns.
Oh, that was the same for me.
Doesn't have a mana.
I got 100% mana because every time I run back to the group, I get Ruin right placed back on me. I can't even get in the heal.
No, it's not even that. I've seen a lot of people running to the boom to the people and, you know, clicking on it.
I don't understand.
I mean, the ruin only matters when it wears off.
Exactly.
So, I mean, when it's on you, you have 12 seconds to get where you need to. It doesn't affect anybody until
I
after.
killed a couple people this entire night, maybe once.
Let me double check something.
I feel like we're just missing that one spicy piece, and we got this.
Looking at the deaths here.
Nah,
You're right, I'm gonna augment run this time.
My time has been 1 point. This whole entire time, I messed up literally 1%. Maybe if folks move around a little bit more, it'd be a little bit easier.
Sriracha's my jam. Like, that shit's good. You know what's really good? Macaroni and cheese with a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of sriracha.
Oh, that was
Shit's
after I called
good.
a wipe. That's not important. Alright, eat up and let's go again.
Minty is just cold spicy. I like that.
There is no feast.
Yeah.
Pinky, do you have one or you want me to get it?
There should always be an out from the boss as well, because I mean, worst case scenario, you run through the boss in front of him and then walk around the edge the other way. So, this should always be it should be impossible to be 100% trapped, unless we just have a line of orbs, in which case the melee are all fucked.
Lasted that long to the point where I was trapped. I mean, and that's to the point where you even said to move them clockwise at that point.
I mean, I said move him clockwise because there was a gap on the right of. There was an opening on the right side.
That's my point. If you make them move clockwise, I had to run your direction. I would have still hit people either way. It's the direction I ran. I killed less people that way.
I mean, if it detonates, it's probably just a wipe no matter what. If it's on people, I don't think there is a.
Either way, we would have to move a lot quicker.
Now, you guys have to let us know. I'm not like I have a million other things I'm keeping track of. I don't know when he needs to be moved unless you melee let me know.
It was called out. I'm just saying.
And the second someone called it out, I said move him. Here's the countdown, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I need to get closer.
3, 2, 1.
Let's avoid every single one of those that we can. Most of the stacks are going to come from the transition, so we got to make sure we get through that.
Guys, please, if you run out and run into somebody, run back where you are.
Dwarf, there's another one to his left.
There's two directly behind him, right on top of Baja.
The first round is not bad. It's the second one.
Rev is going to blow up in the group. Yep, that's going to be bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's very bad.
Why am I so slow?
Just leave me in here then, my god.
It doesn't work that way, it still triggers on everybody. You can't avoid the mechanic that way. Wipe it and let's just go again. That's just a waste of an attempt.
Yeah, the orb box.
I got that orb casted on me 3 times in a row.
I got Novik's curse. Like every time I got the thing, I would have to run out and go back in.
Yep, the orbs are cast I think every 10 seconds or something like that, so it's gonna happen, guys. That is correct, Roger. If you have Ruin, the orb cannot be cast on you. If you get trapped in an orb with Ruin, that means you're too close to someone else who had the orb cast on them.
I have many lucky dudes, you like.
Because otherwise it's impossible to handle the mechanic if you get targeted by the orb with Ruin.
So yeah, I had the Oblivion Sphere on me the first time, and I got knocked out, and then I stood right next to my Oblivion Sphere and got another one, and then I got bounced in and out of 2 of them, at least 3 times. And then I moved around to the side of that one and got another one, and then it was just bouncing me in and out of that over and over and over again.
Yeah, you guys were boxed in. That was
pretty funny.
It was looking like a pinball.
We have different definitions of funny.
I mean, I can't control that it cast it on me. I guess should I just move somewhere else in case I get it again?
I mean, it's an equal chance, so you shouldn't have to react any particular way to getting the orb previously. It's an even chance every time that anybody in the raid, minus the tanks, gets it, unless you have Ruin, in which case it won't target you. Here we go.
I guess I'm just wondering if I did something wrong there.
I mean, standing right up against another orb is not a great position to ever be in because you may have to get bounced or freed into another orb, which sucks. So standing near existing ones shouldn't be done unless there's no other option. The orbs are every 12 seconds or so.
I'll get Raiden.
Somebody got clipped.
I'm coming.
Free Novik first.
Yep.
Watch the beam.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
I don't think we will cancel this though.
Guys, please spread out.
Yeah, spread out. That's 2 in a row that we had double casters. Spread out casters.
Give me a second, Raiden. Gotta get a better angle.
I'm fine. I got it. Get ready. Positioning. Most people have few stacks. Biden, you should try to grab any orbs you see. Head towards the circle, guys. Head towards it, but not on it.
Yeah, we got orbs in the orb.
Fine. Alright, grab a few of these, then head over to the.
God damn it,
head over to
Biden.
the It's fine, guys. Just head over to the circle. Get ready. There's a few right next to the boss, and there's a few over by the triangle. You can grab in between these. Wait till the first round of ads to spawn before grabbing anything.
Get on the circle.
Yep. Stack up. He's about to spawn ads. He's gonna get his shear. Yep. It's gonna happen. Bring it. Bring it over. Quick. Just book it. That AoE sucks. Beware. Beam.
Get
At
back
this
over
point,
here.
leave the orbs up for just a second for tanks. Remember, all the orbs are. You can spread out a little bit now, guys, because he's not going to spawn any more ads. Beam. Leave the orbs up for tanks first. Tanks, you get first pick of all the crap on the ground. Grab them quick, please. Grab them now. Fast. And we're going to grab the leftovers.
There's 3 over here by square.
Yep, alright. You can spread out, guys, and let's kill these ads. Get away from circle, please. Get away from circle so we don't. The first round of orbs do not trigger. Alright, we look good. Most people are fairly low on stacks. Only Widow has
On
a
me.
moderate amount. Alright, these ads will be dead in just a second. There's only 1 up left. Range finish this one melee, you can get back on the boss. There's only 1 left, so. Oh, no, I lied, there's 2. Alright, we're good.
On me again, Beandon.
Yeah, get away from circle. Gotta get away from circle quicker. We're lingering next to circle way too long. Range need to book it from circle as soon as he's up. Alright, pick that up, we're fine. That was our first battle res. We're okay, guys. Just focus up. You 2 need to separate with Ruin. You're too
On
close
me
to
again.
Just focus nice and steady here, guys. Be quick to use the defensive cooldown if you have Ruin, and if you have nothing, call it out so that the healers can pay us extra attention to you. Excuse me. Otherwise, dodge everything here. We cannot afford extra damage here.
What?
Somebody's pet fucked Kinky over there, guys. Someone needs to get. Yeah. That was knocking him in the opposite direction.
There are no orbs for me to cleanse.
Yep. Well, there should have been your own orbs.
That's with my orbs.
You guys did not get as clean. There's 2 by square. Dwarf's probably gonna have to grab those. Dwarf, grab the 2 over by square. I'm gonna spawn a couple. Baja, I want you. Actually, who has low stacks?
I only have
I can still do it. I can still.
There's one in the back. I just.
All right, you
put my
and Baja
triangle.
will get hit by the next one here. We're gonna try to spawn them in melee. Shen, well, actually, it's too late. Here's the transition. So just grab a bunch of extra ones, tanks. I'm gonna spawn some for you, dwarf. Bed, you grab some from extra people. So I'll spawn one over by you. Defensive.
An orb. 2 of us are in orb.
Yep. I'll pick that up, Phil Dwarf. Good. Okay. Get over to the circle, guys. Nuke this one down. Wait on that interrupt. Ah. Beam. Get the distance. Hellstone. Do not die. Play it safe here, guys. Play extra safe here. Let's start cycling some cooldowns each time one of these beams come out. Just be safe. I bring the other ad over in 2 seconds. Now. Stack up closer to the circle. Let's get the next batch closer here together. Beam. Focus on the big guy. He needs to die quick. And I think he cleaved to the group. What happened there?
No,
I
Baldy just went out.
think a lot of people stood in the beam too.
I'm in orb and beam.
Yeah, that might have fucked us.
You gotta watch. We can't free you at that point. You can't run into.
Yeah, if you run into an orb, you're fucked, guys. We can't be freeing you. If we do, we kill everybody. Like, if the problem is we have 3 orbs here, or 3 purple orbs here, and we shouldn't have had that. We came out of the phase, and I watched 5 range sit on the circle until all the ads were dead and spawned 3 orbs.
2 of those were my fault. That was my
Yeah,
bad.
we can't have any of those near us. We need all the room to move around here. As soon as the boss comes up, book it the fuck away. No one should be there, and melee should not kill anything near the circle. We need that area clear.
That it was kind of funny. I was standing right next to the thing and I saw you leap in there for the orbs and I was like, isn't that the tank?
Yeah.
What happened?
I was standing next to the...
There were like 6 orbs right on top of each other, but they were in the center of an orb. So I jumped into it to grab them all because I was at like 20-something stacks.
Sorry, you said orb twice. There are 6 green orbs on top of a purple orb.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's part of the reason also we can't have those orbs near the circle, because the ones we spawn can end up inside them, which are basically wasted then. We got into that transition with a decent amount of stacks. Most people were fairly low. We got into that second transition really well. We did not have a good place to stack up, so as a result, the ads were all over the place, and fell apart a little bit once we got to that point. But we need... Yeah, if we can put the wisdom on Kinky, that might be worth it. Healers as well. Can we call out...
You know, as soon as we give Kinky the wisdom, then she'll be the one that gets all the...
That's exactly what I was gonna... specify, though, is that if a particular healer is basically full mana because they keep getting shit, call out to replace the wisdom on someone else. It does 0 good to have our single wisdom on somebody with full mana. So switch it if it makes sense if somebody's staying topped off.
Actually, that's a good point, Les. We got 2 Boomkins, so we should have some innervates and stuff.
The innervate is half a percent of mana back. Yeah. It's nothing. It's worthless.
I've been doing my Symbol of Hopes when I can.
Well, intermittent gives them 12 seconds of free cast. So.
Alright, here we go. It's looking pretty decent, but we just gotta tighten it up a little bit. Most of the avoidable damage was ago. We just had a few little bits of sloppiness during that second phase 1, and then just one, I think, yeah, between a missed volley. That was the big thing. That was the spike. The missed volley overlapped just as the beam came out, and that was enough to finish a couple people off. So we got to be very careful when we're booking him, when the ad's coming over to the second ad.
Everyone get away from the middle. Get away from the middle. Hit a bunch of people.
A great start. And your orbs are now inside of a purple orb, so you can't collect it. So
It's on me, Bandit.
let's make sure we don't get lazy, guys. The second the fight starts, get the hell away from everybody.
Pop right when I was running by.
I just dropped in and bam.
Oh, one of you got ruined, then the person running with ruin ran past somebody else. That other person they ran past got the orb, and then they both got trapped. So the lesson there is try to avoid people running when you do running back with the ruin, or that can happen.
Wow, that's...
I know. Make sure to stay clear of the circle range. There's a lot of room over by the square, so you can be flush up against that wall over there. Not ideal, but we're not tanking an ad actively by the square. Also, Rev, there's a reason we can't. Sorry, I didn't ping you back about that, but we'll discuss that after. Sorry. Orb in a couple seconds. Use your spread. We're almost at the transition, so be careful. Hopefully we can skip this next Essence Shear. We should be able to, so both tanks should be going into this next phase clear. There's a few things to collect in the center. Try to grab them, Novik, if you can.
Trying to, but...
Get towards the circle, guys, but do not be very close to the circle. Do not be right on it. Up, 2 people. Did we lose a bunch of people? We did.
Yep.
Because people free people, and we died as a result. Just wipe it. I don't want to. We only have so much time left. Melee, I'm gonna have to ask you guys not to DPS the boss because I don't want people getting we can't have double of you getting stuck there at the same time. That's a critical point. Or if you do DPS the boss, you have to be a good deal spread out before he gets his cast finished. I'll reiterate this, we're not wiping right now due to DPS. We need to do everything to make sure this is as smooth as possible. We have to be more careful. Roger, don't invite Mario again unless he talks to me.
Oh, absolutely. Wasn't planned.
It's a shame. He does good damage. Good damage means nothing if you're a piece of shit.
Yep.
Tata, who's those
Am I a piece of shit?
No.
Okay.
He did the thing.
I couldn't think of something clever to say.
Dastard, it was perfect.
Thanks.
I was slightly worried.
I'd have to be some sort of major asshole after the cauldrons you've provided to call you a dick. Or a piece of shit or
You
whatever.
just want me for my wealth?
Look, I've always been a gold digger here.
Oh my god.
Alright, focus up guys, spread out, stay the fuck away from circle. Dodge this shit. I would love to go into this next phase with just a handful of people with 2 stacks, and the tanks with next to no
got the
stacks.
curse.
Wisdom.
Watch out, right to the center, careful ruin people. Remember, to the people who get trapped right as we go into the transition, do not break them until we're sure. Oh, that just dropped.
Whoa!
Pick that up. He didn't have any stacks on him whatsoever.
Go to the tree text ruin.
Rebuff him, please, with fort and all that.
I got run a lot this time too.
Happens, guys. Don't worry about it. Just focus up. Let's just communicate if we get double healer ruin again. I don't want to lose another tank. And we're approaching the transition. We look pretty good. Most people have low stacks. Hopefully Dwarf can clear his stacks. There's a few in the back right behind them, Dwarf. You can grab those. It's like 2.
3, 2, 1.
I'll get Baja.
Pick up some of these guys, pick them up, and let's stack over by circle. Take this guy out quick. Dodge the first beam. Get that interrupt. Oh, we missed that interrupt, guys. That's very bad. Range, you gotta save those for when they're stacked up like that. Let's get him before. He's gonna essence shear. Yep. Alright, move. Bring him over, bring him over, bring it over, bring it over. There's a few orbs in the center. Tanks, you should grab those bed. Grab them. Or grab them. Get ready to stack up on the boss, or stack up near stack up near the circle. Ah, shit. It doesn't matter now, spread out. But we had people in the opposite direction. Fuck. These ads are all over the place again. Spread out, just spread out and take these things out quickly. Range, you gotta get the fuck away from these. Tanks, pick up the orbs that are up. There's a few, these are tanks only. And I just saw a bunch of melee grab 6 orbs. Fuck me. Dwarf's at 36 stacks and some greedy melee just grabbed 5 things.
Oh my god, I'm gonna blow up on everyone. I can't move. I'm so sorry.
You'll be fine. Just wipe it. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to be more explicit about this. Wipe it quick. Once in that phase, guys, pick up a bunch of orbs before the beams. Once the beams start, don't pick up any orbs unless I tell you to.
Because otherwise there's none left for the tanks.
There were 2 times I said, I wasn't explicit, so I guess it's partly on me. I said a bunch of orbs just spawned, and then I was about to say bed, pick them up, and then just 4 DPS ran and collected them all immediately before I could say, I could finish my goddamn sentence. And then I said there's a bunch of orbs up again, and then melee ran over and collected a bunch of orbs again, leaving the tanks to die very quickly. Those orbs are not for you. The orbs that spawn at the beginning are for you. The orbs, once the beam starts, are not for you until the tanks are clear. The tanks have to be down to basically 0. Us DPS and healers have to live with anywhere from 3 to 10 stacks. You want less stacks? Don't get hit by the beam, and then you can have 0 stacks in that phase. You can leave that phase with 0 stacks if you dodge every beam.
Well,
yes, that's hard.
To put things into perspective for everybody, every time we get cleaved, like we have to eat the cleave. That's like 20 stacks on us. So we need 10 orbs just to be able to eat a cleave.
Yeah, the tanks alone are getting. You're spawning. The first cleave you get hit by bed, you should at least be able to pick up the orbs you spawn from that. The one Dwarf spawned the first time, he can pick that up, but Dwarf's taking like 2 cleaves and you're taking 2 cleaves. So that's 40 orbs, or 40 stacks, which means 20 orbs worth that tanks need to pick up during that phase, which means we cannot. The benefit is that we get hit by the beam, we spawn a few orbs, that's for them, we pick up the scraps. They get the full course meal, we get the table scraps. Alright. Here we go. This is the last go of the night.
I believe in everybody. Heart of the cards, all that good shit.
I just find it so funny. There are orbs left up all during phase 1. I'm yelling at people to take them. No one takes it. I say there's an orb up for the tanks, and people go, fuck that guy, and they just immediately grab them all. It's like, I'm amazed.
Fuck that guy.
I'm amazed that people have the ability to always do the exact opposite. It's almost impressive if it wasn't so frustrating. Here we go.
Oh, I love you guys.
5, 4, 3.
I love everybody who collects an orb when they're not supposed to, just a little bit less.
Oh, this is good. This is good shit. This is why I come here.
I don't want to see anyone get hit by a beam during this phase. I want those to all go in with almost all clear stacks.
Guys, stop. I got knocked into the beam.
Yeah, this is why only one person is supposed to free people. You guys still haven't fucking learned that.
Terrible, you left one. No!
Watch it when you run back for Ruin and then get hit by a beam. There's already 2 people hit by the shockwaves, guys.
Beware.
Alright, we have the transition just a few seconds here. There's a couple orbs up you can grab. They're up for grabs for anyone. Shen, Gimma, Raiden, Rev, 2 stacks. Dwarf has 10. There should be some right behind the boss to grab. Stay clear of the circle, guys. Bedpost is the only who should be right on the circle. Spread out otherwise. 2 melee.
I'll free you guys in a sec.
Yep. Collect these orbs, free those melee, and stack up near the actually, you don't have to stack up right away. Just start nuking this guy. Interrupt him as late as possible. Hit him hard. Dodge that first beam. There's the first beam. We'll have to do one more interrupt and then stack up, interrupt it, and range. Do not save an interrupt. Stack up on the circle, and what do you know? Somebody in the back of the room spawned an ad that wants to over by the circle. Gotta get there quicker, guys. Bring him quick. Dodge the beam. Kill that big ad quick. Orbs that are up are currently for tanks. Beam that's not going through the ad, so it's fine. Right,
guys,
it's about to end.
I watch somebody collect an orb.
Alright, let the tanks collect orbs quick. Let the tanks grab these. You have a few seconds, tanks. There's a bunch right in front of them. Yeah, that should have grabbed those. Alright, get ready. Anyone can collect orbs in 3, 2, 1. Anyone can pick them up. Stay clear of the circle. Everyone needs to be clear of the circle right now. Alright. Let's take these ads out.
3, 2, 1.
Watch that beam. The average number of stacks are just shy of 10. You have to be careful. This is doable, but be careful. All the ads are dead. Find a good spot. Stay clear of the circle again, guys. Stay clear of the circle. All ads are dead. If nobody's... Actually, no. We're going to have to save the battle res.
You got 25 seconds until next one.
Yeah, we're just going to save it, though. I'm going to save it
save
for
it.
tanks and DPS.
Healing cooldown.
Tanks and healers, excuse me.
3, 2, 1.
On me.
If you have higher than 10 or higher stacks, you should be collecting any spare orbs you see.
Orb.
Pick dwarf up.
3, 2, 1.
Bed, don't pick up spare orbs. I think you're grabbing them all, and Dwarf is not able to pick any of them up. I'll get him.
I got him.
We can pick up by it and do
Pick
so.
him up, Dwarf. I can afford it.
Just make sure you guys clear your stacks with the free ones that appear at the transition.
Shit.
Oh, I'm coming, go. Sorry.
I got knocked in another spear.
We're almost at the transition, guys.
Hold
Careful,
on, Novik.
careful. Just careful. Play it safe here. Yeah, knocking Novik around killed 2 people. Alright, get towards the circle, guys. Get towards the circle.
Both Dwarf and I are gonna need a ton of orbs.
We're gonna spawn a bunch, don't worry. Just pick them up first. Pick up the boss and collect those orbs. Get over to the circle, guys. You only have a few seconds.
I'm sorry, Dwarf.
You should be fine to free
There's
ball.
some behind me, Dwarf.
Okay. Kill this ad quick. Bring the other ad over. Bring it over.
Dwarf, there are some orbs by the boss.
There'll be a new round of ads in 10 seconds. You can be spread out beforehand, but make sure you're stacked up right within the right after this beam. Stack up. Get as close as you can to the circle. Get as close as you can to the beam. Kill this ad, the big one. Alright, do not get cleaved. All orbs that are up are for tanks. Do not pick any of them up. Kill the big ad. Quiet on comms.
3 more.
Yeah, 3 more people fucking dead. And a healer. Well, that's
2 minutes until next time.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Spread out. Tanks, pick up all the orbs you can. There's pretty much no way we can do this. There's too many people dead.
I mean, he's close.
Doesn't matter. We have to do 20% of his health. With half the raid dead, we're not going to make the DPS check.
Atmosphere.
Yeah, the freers are dead.
I have 4 mind plays.
We're all dead. We're all like, we
Yeah,
can't keep up.
there's a
We're all-
fucking bad.
half the raid was dead. It was a wipe. I just didn't call it. As soon as we lost those 4 people to that one beam, that was unrecoverable. We lost a healer and 3 DPS all at the same time to that beam. No, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible for our first night working on this guy. But there's 2 things we really need to get better at during that transition. And that's people moving. And again, if you have the Mind Flay on you, that is a legitimate excuse. If you don't have the Mind Flay on you, you don't have a legitimate excuse for getting hit by the beam. Or taking at most 1 to 2 ticks. And if you know you're going to get hit by 1 or 2 ticks, use a defensive cooldown. And if you take more than half of your health, use a health stone. And if you can self-heal yourself, then you should health heal yourself. But I mean, like, if you're not doing, if during that transition you're not using a defensive cooldown, a health stone, a self-heal to survive, you are holding us back if you're one of the people who are dying as a result. Like that, the Mind Flay, like the people who drop people who get Mind Flay and then clipped by the beam, you have to use everything in your arsenal to stay alive, because healers are running out of mana. They cannot keep everyone alive from that. It's really a lot of damage, and people just need to be better at avoiding it. And if you can't avoid it, you have to reduce it or help heal it up yourself. The other thing is, I'm still seeing ads spawning farther apart. That's a small improvement we could make that makes some of the ads go down a little bit faster. But like, there are 2 points where you have to be stacked up. 2 points every single time. Right before the first ad dies, and basically right after the first ad dies. If you're not stacked up or up between those 2 points, right on the circle, I guarantee you're going to spawn an ad away from the group, which I saw happen a number of times. So we need to tie that up. Reminders for next week, guys. We're done with normal. We're completely done with normal.
Yeah.
So next week, we're going to start with heroic. That means come Tuesday, we're going to do we should easily be able to do Talok, Mother, Fetid, Vectis, and probably Zekvaz. I expect we can get all of those on Heroic without a problem. I don't know how much time we'll have also for Zool. Hopefully we'll have time for Zool as well. We one-shot all those other ones, I think, this week, minus Zekvaz and Zool. So I expect Zekvaz will still take a couple goes.
I'm really happy with how much of Heroic we have on farm already.
Yep, I mean, let's not get too discouraged. We are ahead of people like Retrospect and all that. So that is a good deal. I mean, like, there's only 2 more bosses Heroic to clear, and then we're done with Heroic, and we have to move into Mythic. So I mean, let's not diminish our success. The fact that we almost got Zool the first night we worked on him was great. We got him down to 5%, and then we killed him last night. And Mithrax, we're getting to that last phase. We just got to get there a little bit cleaner, and we'll continue to improve and iterate, or drop people as necessary to get to where we need to be.
Yeah, it seems like it's the stack management in second phase that's really fucking us.
We manage, yeah, in more than ways than one. Managing people's personal stacks as well as managing stacking up correctly are the 2 biggest things we're screwed up with. So quite literally, stacks are the most important thing.
Double entendres are my specialty.
A lot of times too, it wants to beam right before it spawns the ads, so everybody has to get away from the beam and then up ads.
Then 2 never overlap at the exact same time because he has to cast each one. So if he's doing the beam, he can't spawn the ads. There's usually a 1 to 2 second window between the 2. But if that's the case, we just have to ensure that when the beam appears, we all run out in the same direction so that we're as much of us together as possible. Us being at the circle is not necessarily critical if we've already spawned the ads out of position, or the remaining ads that are up are not at the circle. Stacking up wherever the hell those new ads are, or where the boss is, to maximize cleaves is the most important
Thanks for
thing.
tuning in.
So we'll have to be fluid and adjust as much as we need to.
Hopefully we will see you
Those ads have a lot
playing
of
some
life
Siege.
too.
It'll be fun.